Hello, good morning, and welcome. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television, and I am Nanatu Boate. It's an absolute pleasure to come your way with the best breakfast on television. It's good to have you. You're welcome. Stay with us, and let's drive you for a very, very good morning. All right, so this morning I'm a bit sad. In fact, I am actually very, very sad because at a point in your life, you need to take responsibility of whatever it says that you're going through. If you think you are in a position where you need to seek help, please do seek help. There are too many cases of depression, anxiety, name it. Too many mental cases that we tend to overlook and downplay. And it's getting worse. People are actually losing their lives because of this. I'm saddened. All over the weekend, a story of a young man whom apparently has been battling depression over a period, unfortunately has taken his life. And it begs the question, what is the condition of our mental health in this country? What is the state of mental health in this country? What provisions, what avenues are available for people to seek mental health, people to know their mental health status and take action when or if required? It's important, okay? Now, on the other side of that is also our lifestyle. So many diseases as a result of lifestyle on the rise these days. Talk about non-communicable diseases. Even now, the World Health Organization has issued some warning regarding some stark figures arising or relating to deaths arising from non-communicable diseases. And you see, one thing that we tend to overlook, that we should actually tune our minds to or pay attention to, is front of pack labeling. So you walk to a grocery store, you want to get some stuff, but on that product you are buying, is there any proper labeling that tells you the sugar levels in there, that tells you the level of vitamins in there, so that you are sure and aware of what you are ingesting into your body? Like I said, at a certain age, you need to take responsibility of whatever it is that you ingest. Imagine from infancy, as a baby, your body is growing and it is the same body, same tissue, same cells, okay? So if you don't take cognizance of this fact and you don't pay attention to what you ingest, if you don't tune yourself, your lifestyle in a way that supports your health, then we are all heading for doom. So this morning is a passionate call. Be aware of your mental health. Take mental health serious. And of course, let's adjust our lifestyles so we can all live long. The life expectancy ratio in this country is dropping. Too many young people are losing their lives or are taking their lives. And this morning, our condolences and our commiserations, heartfelt condolences to the family of this young man who unfortunately passed on as a result of battling depression. May the good Lord himself continue to comfort you. May he strengthen the family and may he keep you together in this difficult time. Peace and shalom. Now, let me tell you about the Agri Fair. It is just around the corner. It is happening from the 28th to the 30th of November 2025. And we need all of you to be there because guess what? We are bringing you fresh farm produce straight from the farm to the Afua Sutherland Children's Park from the 28th to the 30th of November. We want you to be a part of it so that we can all do our Christmas shopping, buy all the fresh produce that we need for our homes for the Christmas period, and we need you to be there. This year, or this edition, promises to be exceptional because whether you're a farmer with fresh produce or you're into fish farming, poultry, or livestock, then this is your moment. It is the highly anticipated Agri Fair 2025, and we're bringing harvest vibes like never before. So whether you're exhibiting or exploring, the Agri Fair is the place to be. Experience the best in fresh fruits and vegetables, poultry and livestock, fish and aquaculture, agro inputs and machinery, and innovative agri-tech solutions. Plus, now here's a plus. It's a special one. You need to join our special agri clinics. Register to learn about snail farming, poultry, fish farming, and piggery. Hear that again. We're having special agri clinics, all right? So you need to register and learn about snail farming, poultry, fish farming, and piggery, all right? So just show up at the agri fair, register for any of these clinics, or you can register for all and be part of it. So there will be a clinic on snail farming, clinic on poultry. Now that the Nkukon Kitinkiti has been launched, you need to pay particular attention to that. Fish farming as well as piggery. We're having clinics on all four, and we want you to be part. And guess what? For the exhibitors, this is your time to shine, but you need to hurry, okay? You really need to hurry because registration will close on Friday, 21st November 2025. Registration will close on Friday, 21st November 2025. So that's this coming Friday. We close out the registrations because the way people are rushing in, you need to rush in as well, all right? And secure your spot. So don't miss out on showcasing your products to thousands of potential buyers. Expect sizzling kebabs, farm to table deals and a farmer's market energy like no other. So come to network, trade, learn, and grow. Call 0558 973 973. 0558 973 973 to secure your stand or register for the agri clinics today. 0558 973 973. Place that call now, secure your stand and register for the agri clinics today. Now, Agri Fair 2025 is where culture meets innovation. The Agri Fair 2025 is powered by Channel One TV and City 97.3 FM and is proudly sponsored by Horticulture Business Platform HBP, Development Bank Ghana DBG, Legacy Crop Improvement Center LCIC, Gersal, Ghana Exim Bank, and Agri Impact. So we want to say thank you to the Horticulture Business Platform, that's HBP. I want to say thank you to Development Bank Ghana DBG. Thank you to Legacy Crop Improvement Center LCIC. Thank you to Gersal. Thank you to the Ghana Exim Bank. And thank you to Agri Impact. So please call now, register to exhibit, register to participate, and of course, register for the agri clinics. Like I said, there's going to be a clinic on snail farming, a clinic on poultry, a clinic on fish farming, and a clinic on piggery. All right, so it's important that you call and register. The number again is 0558 973 973. We're closing out registrations by Friday, the 21st day of November 2025. So you want to be part of the Agri Fair, you want to be part of the Agri Clinics at the Agri Fair, call now 0558 973 973. Register, make payments, secure a stand, or confirm your registration for the Agri Clinics. We'll see you there from Friday the 28th of November to Sunday the 30th of November, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. It's a 3-day of agric, if you like, exhibitions, all right? So let's see you there. Agri Fair 2025, it promises to be exciting. Let's come and shop for our Brunya. Come and let's shop, all right? We'll see you there. Now, jump onto the Google Play Store and download the Channel One News app from the Google Play Store. And, of course, have access to up-to-date, accurate, factual, current, relevant information. All the news is on there on the Channel One News app hosted on the Google Play Store. Download it, install on your device. Quite easy to navigate, user-friendly, simple to use. All right? So download it and be part of the news. Literally have the news in your palm on your device. Talk about the news. The newspapers are here. A lot of them have gone to press. Let's bring you the front pages and what the papers are saying. Daily Graphic is my first, and it has a picture of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin. And he says, use budget as transformative tool. Use budget as transformative tool. Speaker charges Parliament. Licensed timber export feat lauded. Licensed timber export feat lauded. Ghana regional beacon of hope. Assemblies of God Global Chairman speaking there. Okay. Africa's music stars storm Accra for GTCO music concerts. Africa's music stars storm Accra for GTCO music concerts. So that's the front page of the graphic. When you go on the back page, you get a number of sports stories, very heavy on the Ghana Premier League. So go grab a copy and you can get the details thereof. So that's the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let me get into the Ghanaian Times. Front page says, will ensure seamless recruitment process. That's the Interior Minister giving that assurance. Will ensure seamless recruitment process. 2026 budget full of cosmetic rhetoric. That's according to the minority. They held a press conference after the budget was read, which press conference was delivered by Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, a former finance minister and the member of parliament for Karaga. And he says the 2026 budget is full of cosmetic rhetorics. Jospon Group charts path towards tangible climate actions at COP30. Jospon Group charts path towards tangible climate actions at COP30. World Assemblies of God Congress launched in Accra. World Assemblies of God Congress launched in Accra. School Sports Authority created to oversee basic and varsity sports. So that's on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Wrapping it up for the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Right, let's get into the Chronicle. The Chronicle. Hey, Ato, you failed to account for 66 million cedis doled out to NDC. Osahin Afenyomarkin tells Finance Minister in Parliament. Hey, Ato, you failed to account for 66 million cedis doled out to NDC. Osahin Afenyomarkin tells Finance Minister in Parliament. Ghana's corruption fight is abysmal. That's according to the Mosu Hine Osaberima Dr. Wusu Beyeman. Chado Lands, Anas wins big at the Supreme Court. Chado Lands, Anas wins big at the Supreme Court. A scripture for today, Isaiah 1:4. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 4. Alas, sinful nation, people weighed down with iniquity, offspring of evildoers, sons who act corruptly. Isaiah 1:4. Alas, sinful nation, people weighed down with iniquity, offspring of evildoers, sons who act corruptly. So that's the Chronicle newspaper. On the back page, a number of sports stories. One big one here from the 2026 budget says government to begin construction of new sports stadia in 2026. Government to begin construction of new sports stadia in 2026. That's attributed to the Finance Minister, Dr. Cassiel Ato Forson. All right, let's get into the Daily Guide. Daily Guide. NPP flag bearer primaries. External branches fight proxy ban. NPP flag bearer primaries. External branches fight proxy ban. 2 jets, 4 helicopters purchase cover up. That's according to the minority. 2 jets, 4 helicopters purchase cover up. That's according to the minority. Illegal mining hotspot raided. Drugs, dynamite seized. Illegal mining hotspot raided. Drugs and dynamite seized. Ghana is Africa's hope. That's according to Reverend Yu of the Assemblies of God Global. Ghana is Africa's hope. Malawian delegation commends Herpa Plus founder. Malawian delegation commends Herpa Plus founder. So yeah, that's it for the Daily Guide newspaper. Let me take you to the Herald. The Herald newspaper says Kevin Oche granted $20 million bail in Dubai, barred from leaving the Emirates amid $94 million fraud case. Kevin Ochiri granted $20 million bail in Dubai, barred from leaving the Emirates amid $94 million fraud case. Fresh action against Sam Okudzeto and his clients in alleged forgery and property manipulation. NHIA to reduce out-of-pocket payments with realistic tariffs. NHIA, that's the National Health Insurance Authority, to reduce out-of-pocket payments with realistic tariffs. New presidential jet transaction goes to Parliament soon. New presidential jet transaction goes to Parliament soon. Aphenyo Marken smells Judas Iscariot within NPP MPs. Aphenyo Marken smells Judas Iscariot within NPP MPs. So that's the Herald newspaper. I take it to the News Center. News Center says, AI gap is energy gap. AI gap is energy gap. Data centers, cloud services, and AI models all depend on uninterrupted energy. That's according to Ibrahim Misto. He's the Chief Digital Officer for MTN Ghana. Ghana must close digital usage gap to boost AI growth. That's Sylvia Owusu Ankoma, CEO of Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, speaking there. 2026 budget is a litany of empty promises. That's according to the Minority. Republic Bank Ghana PLC inaugurates new headquarters. Shirley Tonikum crowned PR Personality of the Year 2024. So that's the News Center. Let's go to the New Publisher. New Publisher. Legal earthquake hits Chado. Anas wins 5-0 at Supreme Court. Adolf Tete Ajay falls in defeat. Legal earthquake hits Chado. Anas wins 5-0 at Supreme Court. Adolf Tete Ajay falls in defeat. When innovation meets inertia, Ghana must back local health solutions like Lightwave. Okay. Automatic military slots for LWAC victims' families unconstitutional, says Baka Vomawo. Automatic military slots for LWAC victims' families unconstitutional, says Baka Vomawo. So that's the New Publisher. And so from one publisher to the other, let me now bring you the Ghanaian Publisher. Ghanaian Publisher. Minister seeks $10 million tax waiver for Indian firm. Minister seeks $10 million tax waiver for Indian firm. 2026 budget. Government trading future growth for optics. That's according to the Minority. Achim Mosu chief urges tougher action on corruption and Galamsey. Samson Dean wins AFPC second term. Rock Bible Institute calls for integrity in service. So that's the Ghanaian Publisher. I'll take it to the Informer. Informer. Adomotri flees from OSP over injunction suit. Mahama warns against exploitation of Hajj pilgrims. Baumia promises to transform Ghana with big ideas. Budgets must provide roadmap for self-reliance and economic turnaround. That's according to the Speaker of Parliament. And then at COP30, Jospon Group touts Ghana's carbon framework. So that's the Informer newspaper. The Ghanaian Point says, one good term deserves another. I'm not sure exactly what we are referring to, but we'll see. IGP denies claims police officer was denied medical care. Yellowface raid. NIMOS task force seizes drugs and dynamite in Western region. It's ideas, not money, that will transform Ghana. Baumia tells voters in Ketu South. Ghana's presidential jet returns after 8 months of repairs in France. Okay, let's now go to Today newspaper. Coconut Grove Regency Hotel CEO unveils bold vision ahead of AGI elections. Interior Ministry begins nationwide recruitment for police, prisons, Ghana National Fire Service, and immigration today. So that's the front page of the Today newspaper. The Inquisitor says Paul runs from OSP over injunction suit. And then 2005 Chado land grant to Anas confirmed. Nigeria cancels mother tongue teaching in primary schools. And then you have NPA chalks 20 years. The Custodian says minority dissects 2025 and 2026 budgets. Fanciful allocations, paltry releases. Ideas will transform Ghana, not personal wealth, as according to Baumia. COP30, Jospon Group sets private sector carbon market plan. Republic Bank Ghana opens new headquarters. And then you have Prudential Bank celebrates customers at dinner in Takrady. Economic Times, domestic financing to exceed 2026 fiscal deficit on cash basis. Right, domestic financing to exceed 2026 fiscal deficit on cash basis. Public wage bill cut down to 33% of domestic revenue. Traders and bankers clash over lending rate as Guta advocates for Women's Bank in earnest. So that's it for the Economic Times newspaper. Let me now take you online quickly and bring you some stories from our news portals. I'm going to start with channel1newsonline.com. Consumers must see benefits of cedi stability in everyday prices. Catholic bishops to government. Galamsey, God's creation must be respected, not exploited. Again, Catholic Bishops Conference speaking there. Mahama to swear in Bafuboni as CJ today. Then you have presidential jet. Focus on maintenance, not new aircraft. That's the Bureau of Public Safety. A generous and honorable man, Akufo-Addo, on late Aliu Mahama. 2 Channel 1 TV reporters earn top honors at Northern Ghana GJA Awards. So congratulations to them. Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira and Shawana Yusuf. Congratulations to them for picking the honors in road safety reporting as well as WASH. Congrats to the two of them. Economic stability improving but still fragile. That's according to Toma Emihie. Government to establish school sports authority to boost talent development. Afram Plains communities appeal to government to repair broken ferry. Anomabo Fisheries College to be operational next year. That's according to the sector minister. 65% of adult Ghanaians cannot afford healthy diets. Ekunfi MP, 2026 budget shows clear path to recovery. And then you have Professor Ernest York, elected GMA president. Now let me quickly jump to citynewsroom.com. Declare state of emergency in Galamsey hit zones. That's the Catholic bishops urging government. Then you have T-bill auction falls 30% below target despite yield uptick. Summon AG to explain harsh bail terms for ex-appointees. Minority demands. Bafuboni to be sworn in as Chief Justice today. NIA refers extortion allegations to internal CID for probe. Ghana's presidential jet needs independent safety verification. That's according to the Bureau of Public Safety. And when you go to Kibi, police arrest carpenter over murder of security guard. Aliu Mahama was a man of great integrity. That's according to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Afram Plains residents demand urgent fix for broken Agodeke ferry. And you have Ghana's presidential jet returns after 8 months of repairs in France. So go online and you get the details of these stories and several others, citynewsroom.com, as well as channel1newsonline.com. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 TV. I am Nana Tufuo-Boateng. Stay with us. We'll be right back with a news review segment.
Verna is clean, fresh and safe. I'm holding my Verna bottle. No plastic seal, no worries. Open and hear the sound like that sound means it's fresh, no trick, no plastic seal, but it's still pure. Cool and clean, you can be sure. Verna leads the brighter way. What takes my doubt away? If it clicks, it's Verna. If it clicks, it's clean. Sip it, feel the difference. Verna water, pure and green. Click, open, sip. Click, open, sip. Chalet Verna, no stress, just sip. Just sip.
This advert is FDA approved.
The National Petroleum Authority hereby cautions persons engaged in illicit storage and trading of petroleum products to comply with the regulatory requirements to operate in the downstream petroleum industry. The NPA Act clearly stipulates that no individual shall engage in any commercial activity related to the importation, exportation, re-exportation, shipment, transportation, processing, refining, storage, distribution, marketing, or sale of petroleum products in the downstream industry without first obtaining a license from the NPA board. Failure to secure the necessary license and properly regularize operations will result in confiscation of petroleum products, prosecution under the law, and decommissioning of facility. For more information, contact the National Petroleum Authority on 0302 550 380. You can also visit our head office located at Jolu off the N1 highway or any of our regional offices.
Hey, Kwam! Woni pa boni papa enti wo fie na silia e fefe wa ha na me dem de me di dua na atwa ko me de wenye ceiling o wenye POP ankasa e bani se wo pe plaster board installation POP cement POP fiber and afa se bani se yenye ceiling papa ma e ye POP ceiling dia ene na e ye Anas Boy Enterprise POP oyema wa wo dem jo fan air conditioning wa wo da wada na de em se nyame ye tie me mpa bo akonkyere ye chi mesrew na anya bia me nisika e bo ano na me pese mesre na obetime hu ya mo no ama ye bi owo payment plan eno ani so wo di 70% akoma no 30% owie ya wo tiaka wo be hu Anas Boy Enterprise e wo Tantra Hill opposite ICGC Church Amasaman before police station traffic light na se kwa e na fe pokuase awosi kwantempo no Canada Junction friend wo 0246 113 461 Anas Boy Enterprise obema wo fie abright.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From Latepia, cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter what you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you're poor, what's that? So would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, Simple direction. Mr. Good Luck no check me way.
Eh?
Yeah, man.
Easy cry. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm a birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompts. Yes. And then boom. Confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, baby, our family payment seminar. Before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Hello there, grateful that you stayed on with us. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. It's time for the news review segment. We'll get into a conversation on some of the topical issues and bring you different perspectives. And you are invited to join us via the WhatsApp number. Send us your thoughts, your contributions, your comments, and of course, let us know what you have to say about the various topics that we'll be discussing. The studio is full. I have 3 gentlemen in here with me, all seated, looking bright and sharp as always. So I'll do a quick introduction, say good morning to them, and then we can begin the conversations. Ibrahim Ajay is here. He's a former assistant secretary at the office of the former president. Ibrahim, good morning.
A very good morning, Anna.
It's good to see you.
Likewise.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Elvis Darko is also here. He's the editor of the News Center newspaper as well as newscenter.com. Elvis, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's good to have you. I'll ask about where you went and what you brought later, but we'll deal with that. And then Dr. Dramani Bukari. He's the Deputy CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, also here with us. Doc, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Nana.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure being here.
Welcome. Good to
Thanks
have
for
you.
having me.
Very well. Gentlemen, we have a lot to chew on this morning, so let's get straight into it. We're starting from a sad note, quite an unfortunate situation that we witnessed last week. Announced recruitment exercise, advertised date for body selection and documentation. And then we saw the crowd that massed up at the Elwak Sports Stadium, subsequently leading to an unfortunate stampede. Tragedy hit us. 6 lives were lost, others in critical condition. Subsequent to that, the government has visited the families of the victims and has announced that automatic slots be given to qualified relatives of the deceased. So I'm going to go around the table and pick your thoughts on this. We've done recruitments over the years, and so you would expect that lessons have been learned from time to time. But what we saw last week, quite distasteful. I mean, for lives to be lost in the quest to seek employment, it's quite worrying. Doc, let me start from you, and then you add on to, if like, the respite that has been given the families of the victims.
Okay, good morning. Good morning to your cherished viewers, and good morning to my colleagues in the studio. I think that to start with, it's not even for us to say that these are persons who were on a quest to gain employment. In my view, these are persons who were seeking an opportunity to serve this country, particularly in the military.
True.
That is particularly concerned with the security of all of us, and with the security of the nation. In no less an exercise should persons seeking to engage in such very legitimate activities lose their lives. Under no circumstances should that happen. And so it came to all of us, and I believe even the military, as a surprise. I have said in other sister stations or TV stations that, look, it is not possible that the Ghana Armed Forces would have gone into an activity like this without a plan. It's not possible. What happened is perhaps an unexpected breakdown of the plan, or perhaps an unexpected oversight of what could potentially happen. And the preliminary explanations point to the fact that there was an overwhelming surge even before the process could commence. And so that then led to, all of that. But having said that, look, I believe condolences are in order, particularly for the bereaved family. We are also with those who are injured in the several ways that we got God's healing and speedy recovery will come upon them in this very difficult time. Government on its own has already shown a lot of commitment to want to ensure that this does not happen again. First of all, by condoling with the bereaved families, visiting them, beyond, and then by halting the process and ensuring that there's a review and that the process comes back in a more transparent, a more safe manner. And then government is also committed to ensuring that, look, under the circumstances, while you cannot, as a human being, and the president is one of us, you cannot replace the lives that have been lost, you must do something to atone for the pain that they are going through. And so there are a number of measures that government is seeking to put in place in this regard. So it's not limited to the opportunity for a qualified member of the family to be in recruitment, but it's also support around funeral expenses, and other, similar support. And I believe the support package would not be very different from what we saw in the tragic helicopter crash victims and all of that. It's standard practice, if you ask me, all across the globe to find, persons who have perished in the line of duty come to receive some level of attention and compensation from government. And so what government is doing is not extraordinary, but it shows good faith, and it shows that government really cares about the people of this country. In my view, the opportunity does not set aside the fact that engaging or entering into the Ghana Armed Forces ought to be meritorious. You ought to be medically fit, you ought to be physically fit. So even for these families, the qualified persons, that's why government emphasizes qualified. Qualified. And so it's not for you to send anybody, but the persons must be medically fit, they must be physically fit, and then they must still go through the process. Except that some level of priority will be given to, because you know the numbers. Huge numbers against what is going to be recruited. So they will get that level of preference, but nothing in terms of the criteria will be compromised. And I think that's fair, because you and I still want to have a very strong army, that can protect this nation to the best of its abilities. And so for me, it's a call in the right direction, and all of us should support government in that regard. Again, the Ghana Armed Forces itself has set up a board of inquiry into these activities. I have no doubt that eventually there's a lot that would be learned from that exercise once the findings are out. And I believe that going forward, recruitment exercises will not be the same. This incident will really change the face. I am convinced that this incident will really change the face of recruitment exercises going forward. Mind you, I don't know, maybe I'm too young to recall, but I haven't cited any other recruitment exercise where we have been engulfed with such level of gravity, tragedy. I don't recall. If there's one, I have yet to see. So which means that this is a major incident that would offer us the opportunity to really learn and transform the recruitment process. So reforms should be expected going forward, and reforms should happen in the interest of the Ghanaian people.
Very well, Doc. Thank you. Elvis, let me come to you. I mean, the military did the registration online, so they had a portal. And at a point when the numbers, they knew the numbers they were looking for and the excesses that had come, so they shut it after a period. So they were looking in an excess of 60,000, but they were actually going to enlist, or if you like, take on just about 4,000. It's raised concerns regarding the sale of these forms and the failure or if like the non-accountability on the part of the military. And then again, looking at the preliminary explanations that have come, that there was a sudden surge in numbers. That those who say it's not tenable because you did registrations, you know the numbers you're expecting, so you should have made provisions for same.
Thank you very much, Nana. This incident happened when I was away. I was so sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. And I must say there are no explanation. Nobody can explain this thing away. Totally unacceptable, condemnable. It's sad that this country people don't resign when things like this happen. Look, we start in this country when Dr. George Akuffo Dampare did recruitment in this country. He departed from this people going to queue for screening because the thing was done online. They scheduled people, invited them to halls where they are not under the sun, like they are pigs or goats. Sat down, and they were called one by one, screened, and even offered water to drink in a humane environment. This was done in this country by the Ghana Police Service under Dr. George Akuffo Dampare. So the question is, how come that one arm of the security service was able to do this, did it so well, and another arm of the security service has thrown the whole country into this mess? You open a portal for people to register. You knew the numbers that have registered. You knew that the numbers that are registered, the Airworks person cannot contain them. So it didn't occur to anybody to say, even if we do this inhumane one by asking them to come and queue in the sun, let's look at the capacity of Airwork and let's schedule and say, these are the numbers that will be coming to Airwork. Airwork cannot contain them. So let's do it on daily basis and schedule the number that the place can take, that this cannot happen, so that instead of so many people piling up, you can have them in badges on different days. That would have prevented this kind of disaster. And so when people sit in places of power and they fail to do the right thing and things like this happen, and people are not punished and people don't on their own also resign, we don't expect our country to move forward. Because then those who will come over later will also think that, oh, anything can happen. The nation will just look on and nobody gets any punishment. And I don't think that we can continue to grow our country this way. The countries that we admire is because people resign when the least thing happen. So lessons are there for people to learn. Unfortunately, in Ghana, these things don't happen. Major things have happened to us and people remain in office, nothing has happened. And unfortunately, it's the same situation we are in. No explanation from the military or anybody to me makes sense to me for what has happened to these young people. No explanation. Nobody can blame the young people. Because if Elvis, I'm coming to that stadium, how will I know that the numbers that are reporting that day are more than what the stadium can take? I will not know. It is you, the person who accepted the registration, who knows the numbers and should have thought that because the numbers that you have that will be screened at Airwork, the capacity of the stadium cannot take them. Let's just divide them into badges and do them on different dates so that the numbers that will come there will not be that huge for anybody to even engage in anything that will lead to this death. And we must accept this. We must accept that the military failed big time and therefore people are not being punished. It's unfortunate. For me, asking their families to bring representatives is in order, okay? But I think that the state must go beyond that and compensate the family financially. Families deserve financial compensation from loss of these 6 young girls. Aside giving the opportunity to replace somebody, they actually deserve hefty compensations. And if they are not compensated, I will urge any family member to sue the Ghana Armed Forces on this issue. Because first of all, you are the one who invited them to the venue. The Airworks Sports Stadium belongs to the Ghana Armed Forces. So if something happens to anybody there, and when that person was there at the invitation of the Ghana Armed Forces must be held responsible. So if the state will not compensate the family with a hefty amount, those that can afford, lawyers that can offer pro bono services, I think should support this family to sue the Ghana Armed Forces for some hefty money. You see, when people sue and they win, it set a certain standard for the whole nation. And that is why next time somebody will ensure that the people at the helm of do the right thing, because if they don't do the right thing, the state is going to lose some money. So for me, it's either the state compensate them financially, or some lawyers should come together, help these families to sue the Ghana Armed Forces, to teach all of us country as a lesson that when institutions of state fail, we shouldn't let them walk free by offering the family a replacement of the person they have lost. You can never get that person back again. And I think that the replacement is not enough, that the state must compensate, and without any compensation, the families and those who can support them legally should be able to sue the Ghana Armed Forces for hefty amounts, so that next time we all learn lessons. Because you cannot tell me that you invited people to a premises that you own. The premises, you own it, and you are the one who invited them there. And when something happens to the people there, they don't get any financial compensation. There's no insurance for anything. And the only thing the family gets is if you can get somebody who is qualified.
But these people adhere to my guidelines.
Whose responsibility is it?
Because we saw the videos and we saw the rush.
Whose responsibility is it to make sure that the right thing happens there?
The Ghana Armed Forces.
So what are you talking about?
You and I do not know whether instructions were given there and the people that
Please, I've told you that having known the numbers, and Armed Forces knew that the numbers that they are inviting there are more than what the stadium can accommodate. You cannot blame the person you are inviting there. You are inviting me to an event. You know that the capacity of the place is more than the number of people you are inviting there. And when you invite me there and we are more than the number and something happens to me, it says I should take responsibility. What are you talking about? They have admitted that the numbers were overwhelming. And you are saying that 60,000, what's the capacity of Airworks Stadium? And how many people did they invite there on that day? The number that they invited to Airworks Stadium, is that the capacity Airworks Stadium can take on a day? Let's be realistic. Let's begin to build a nation that people are held responsible for not doing the right thing. You are a leader, something has happened. You either resign or you are fired. So that it sets the example for somebody else who will occupy the position that you either do your job and do it well, or when there is an eventuality, you will suffer for it. It is important that we set this kind of precedent. Because as I said, Dr. Dampare under the police service has done this as far back as 2021. We are in 2025, and something that was done in 2021, everybody said, if we can do recruitment in this way, it's humane. The people have applied. You know the numbers. What they are coming to do is not start military training or police training. They are coming to look at their certificate, look at their height, look at their body, look at say, oh, this person, go. You hear from us. If after assessment you qualify for the next day, you get a text message that you qualify for the next day. If this is supposed to be done, why should people queue in a stadium? This does not require anybody coming to queue. Because the things you are looking for, it's not like you are saying that they should come and run 100 meters race or 300 meters race to see how fit they are. You are inspecting things. And as I said, if the police service had done it successfully, I don't see how the other services could not copy it and do same. And this kind of way of doing things should change. Look, even the forms to even apply, if they say go to Ghana Commercial Bank, if you live in Parliament Duga, my father's hometown, or Tongochana, but there's no Ghana Commercial Bank there. It means you have to take a car and go to Peki.
You have Ghana Post.
No. So it means they have to travel. Meanwhile, we have mobile money today, where you can pay money and a code will be given to you right on your phone, and right sitting there in your house, you can fill this form. Why should people still walk to banks to be able to pay and say, I am paying this money for a recruitment, the security services or military or police? Why is that the people cannot just pay the money through Momo? Why are we digitizing, bringing technology system to make life easier for all of us, yet institutions are not recognizing the importance of using that digitization process, and they still make us go through the very processes we are trying to digitize to prevent. I don't understand how we are governing this country. That's why I've said that it appears that we need to vote an amount of money and give an order that within 6 months to 1 year, everybody working for a public service in Ghana should compulsorily take a digitization course. If you think you cannot, you leave, we employ new people.
Who should pay for it?
The government of God will pay for it. By the way, for the state, and you want systems to run faster for you, the government. So you must compel every public servant, civil servant, to go through a digitization course done on weekends, okay, so that everybody can use the digitization. Well, government is investing billions and billions to digitize various sectors of the economy so that things can be done well. And yet, when we put the money to do the systems, application becomes a problem because the people in charge of the various, many of them actually don't even have the skills because it's fact that they were born before these things came.
Very obvious. Let me hear from Ibrahim. We spoke about this last week, and we're back again on the same issue. But subsequent to our conversation, the Minister for the Interior held a press conference where he announced that the entire recruitment process is now going to be digitized. He actually went on to say that an e-recruitment center has been established. And so from today, recruitment into the internal security services is online. That's the plus. Will this address some of these challenges?
You know, when you mentioned that, I was surprised. I want to be upfront and honest. I always thought it was already digitized. Generally, how do you apply for these forms? It's online.
Yeah. I think portions were digitized, but now he says the entire process is going to be seamless.
Which portions were analog? I'd like to know. I mean, sometimes I think it's important that when new information comes into our purview, we, the commentators here, should address our lack of knowledge of a particular piece of information.
Right.
I've always been of the view that across the Ghana Armed Forces, it is always online, digital, and never analog. These paper applications are a thing of the past. And I've been of that view for the last number of years. So for me to hear this is a surprise to me and maybe many other viewers as well. Why? Because we know that it's online portal. In fact, government made a key point, especially in the NPP administration, that in order to avoid these Goro boys who would give you a form, say they can assure you of a slot and hoodwink you and take your money, okay, the whole online digital portal served to cure that cancer. Are you following me? So I'm surprised at this, but if that is the case, then yes, it's a step in the right direction. But I again, to reiterate what I said, I was of the view that across the board, it was online.
It was online.
You know, what Elvis mentioned about going to Ghana Commercial Bank, the idea is that you purchase the e-voucher or e-ticket. Again, I thought it's something that can be done on Momo. When you're applying for your passports, again, you can use your debit cards, your Momo, that's your mobile money for those watching outside of Ghana, to do that. But to address your question, is what the Minister of Interior now stating good? If that is the case, as you're saying that portions are outside of the digital ecosystem, then yes, it can only, my answer can only be it's good.
A fully fledged digital system for recruitment.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but this, let's not understand something. It is not the digital or lack of environment that caused the stampede. It could help it, yes, and I agree with what my colleagues have mentioned in terms of, and we mentioned it last week, how having that data can help you stagger, you know, the recruitment process. So you know that you have X number of people coming on this particular day and Y number on another day, so you can control it. The Ghana Armed Forces were saying, per their reports, that what happened was that there was a large number which was added to by people who were not scheduled to be there on that day. That in no way, shape or form absolves the Ghana Armed Forces. You are our experts in defense. You need to be 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead of the curve. You have to have a contingency plan. If this happens, what happens here? You know, the permutations need to be well thought out. That's your your area of expertise. I'm talking the Ghana Armed Forces. So when they say that those who were not scheduled arrived and compounded the problem, that is something that nobody should take as a valid excuse. Because you should have that contingency in place.
Should have anticipated
of course.
the surge in numbers.
And I mentioned last week that as crowds were growing, what should you have done, Ghana Armed Forces? Send your officers into the queue and check per person whether or not you are scheduled to be there that day. Because we know ourselves as Ghanaians, we want to jump the queue. We want to avoid the law. You know, discipline isn't something that we hold dear, like you see with the Japanese. A Japanese person at a red traffic light, no cars in sight, will wait until the light changes green before he walks or crosses the road. You see that so much in Japan. It's middle of the night, 11 p.m., no cars coming. That Japanese person will wait until the light changes green, then cross. Ghana, while the articulated truck is coming, we're trying to compete with it, when it's saying red. So discipline is something that we need to imbibe in ourselves. And since you know this is a failing of ours, I'm talking Ghana Armed Forces, why not send officers into the queue? They started sleeping there from 10 p.m. the previous night.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But taking a proactive measure, Ghana Armed Forces, your officer in the queue, please let me see your application. Oh, Massa, you're not due for today. Please go home. You're due for tomorrow. They didn't do that. So they cannot now rely on that excuse that others entered. What were you doing to monitor those in the queue, whether they were relevant? Secondly, on the issue of them, the compensation being given, I call it compensation, it's in good order. I have no issue there because the caveat is qualified persons from your family.
True.
I was reading, is it Oliver Baker Vamoa? Saying that it's unconstitutional and what have you. I totally disagree with him, and I'll explain to you why. The military has so many sectors whereby you have your military, the infantry personnel, you have a civilian division, you have mechanics, you have drivers, you have engineers, you have plumbers, people who are in carpentry, whose specific skills, you work for the Ghana Armed Forces, but you are in the mechanics workshop. You're not there with your AK-47, you know, and your backpack in the field or serving in Sudan or Lebanon or where have you. So there are ways in which qualified members of the family can be accommodated within the armed forces. And my colleagues have mentioned it, and I think that's in good order. It speaks to a sense of justice, a sense of reparation, which is called for. When we have a disaster in Ghana, unfortunately, it is government's responsibility where let's say the public or government agencies have been either found wanting or if not found wanting are in a capacity to help mitigate that disaster, we should do so. Is it unconstitutional when we had the gas explosion that cleared the town? Was it I don't know where? Apiache. Would Oliver Baker Vamoa say that it is unconstitutional to use a public purse to compensate and rebuild those homes as we did under the MPP administration? So I totally depart with that kind of rhetoric or thinking, and anybody who shares Oliver Baker's view. This is not only constitutional. What's the Constitution? It's the government's responsibility to serve the interest of the public. I mean, I'm not quoting verbatim, but the essence, the spirit of the Constitution, it's the law by which the government and the public relate and work. So that we work with government, and government also works in our interests as Ghanaian citizens. So that one, I'm 100% in support of that gesture, and the qualified aspect of it, I think, can allay people's fears that we're getting unqualified people from these 6 families to actually enter the services. And so we commend government on that particular aspect. But what can we do? I want to relate something that I mentioned to you last week. In 2021, we didn't do recruitment. In 2022, we didn't do recruitment. 2023 also. NPP government did not do recruitment into the armed forces. And you ask yourself, why? And I explained this last week. We have over 10,000 people qualified already on the system of the Ghana Armed Forces.
So there's a backlog.
There's a backlog of Ghanaians who are qualified per your own criteria to be absorbed into the military. So why the need to actually engage in this exercise when you have a backlog? It beats the imagination. Because you can't tell me that suddenly they're now unqualified.
But it's been 4 years.
It's been 4 years.
Some may have traveled out of the country. Some may have fallen sick. Are all 10,000 still eligible for enlistment?
And we discussed this last week. Go through the process and find out, because it's an assumption that all have traveled, that some have fallen sick. And sure, there'll be a proportion of that. But you need 4,000 people. Are you telling me that suddenly all 10,000 are dead? That we have to be realistic to the reality. So the Ghana Armed Forces have a question to answer. And by that same argument, the government of Ghana has a question to answer. Because who gives the directive? Is it not the Minister of Defense and his deputies working with the Ghana Armed Forces that we need to fill these vacancies? And surely the GAF would have said, thank you, government, we need this amount of money for these vacancies, but we have 10,000 people already here. And that's something that I think this investigation needs to look at as critically as possible. Because we know, for example, that recruitment, unemployment, these are signals that can trigger an election loss. And so governments are mindful how to cure the unemployment cancer or canker, and how to also sometimes present we are doing something, giving you hope. But don't give false hope that leads to this tragedy. You have 10,000 there in your backlog. If the MPP government seeking re-election said, no, we won't do recruitment, we won't do it in 2021, 2022, 2023, and I believe 2024. I'm sure those who are Googling can correct me if I'm wrong. But there was no recruitment. Where the recruitment took place in July of 2024, the notice came out, and it came out in immigration and also the armed forces. I'm not saying recruitment didn't take place, but we saw it in the newspapers. It was advertised. 2024, an election year. NPP government said that those who have qualified from 2021 and 2022 and 2023, please resubmit your names, not by another form, but you can again access the portal and resubmit your application. This is something that the NDC government needs to be aware of, so that in pandering, trying to think to the next election, instead of thinking of the next generation, we get ourselves in this mess. And I'm not trying to somehow blame the government on what happened. That's not my submission here. Because as I mentioned last week, these were individuals who avoided protocol, didn't care about those who were already in the queue, jumped it, and then it led to the stampede. Having said that, the Ghana Armed Forces have admitted that at Elbak Stadium, only one of the gates was opened instead of the two. That would have relieved the tension. What you do in any stampede, you don't try to contain the masses, you try to allow them in. And that's the failure again of the Ghana Armed Forces on that end. But as I say, I'm not critiquing or blaming government for the stampede, but there are ingredients that make the meal.
Right.
And they should not somehow say we are washing our hands off. You have a cause, I'm talking government, in this scenario. What should have been done is take the backlog, use that. Do you get me? Because I remember we had, was it Sam George, Honorable Sam George, and Honorable Roxon, saying that we should actually increase
the age.
Which has now been done. Because
Now-
the minister in his briefing has said it has been
Yes.
done.
Now, when you increase the age, and I know that Ghana, in fact, when you look at its age compared to other African countries, Ghana is quite strict. But can you imagine, we're talking about 60,000 now. You increase the age, and why did they say increase the age? Because they're getting party pressure. And Roxon admitted it, per what I've read. My party people are pressuring me. that we need jobs. You imagine increasing the age, astaghfirullah, God forbid, from 60,000 applicants, when you're looking at 120,000 applications. Given that the Ghana Armed Forces should, if they maintain this non-preemptive, archaic, and I loved what Elvis mentioned just now. Why do we put them in this hot sun at Elwak? It's a lesson for us to learn.
But the minister has said that going forward, about 10 to 15 centers will be open.
And I mentioned that last week. I said you could use the Teshi military facility, Burma camp, and Michel camp in our conversation last week. That there are military centers dotted across the country that can provide these facilities to recruit the armed forces. Instead of out in this open air, open sun facility. So I'm happy that Elvis made that submission to draw attention to it. But having said that, for the last 8 years, taking out the 2021, 2, and 23 that I mentioned, NPP did not openly recruit, but leaned on its backlog. This recruitment at Elwak has taken place in the hot sun. So we have to ask ourselves the question, why in the last, say, 6 years of active recruitment did we not have this? These are the lessons that we can draw upon. And it's not to hit a political note, it's just a lesson, because it could have happened, but thankfully it didn't. Then you have to ask yourselves, what was the Ghana Armed Forces doing right up until this point in terms of recruitment?
Very well.
And when we answer that question, now we can add value to it, which the present administration, per what the Minister of Interior is saying, is doing.
Well, Doc, I'll give you 2 minutes and then
Thank you very much. So there are a couple of things. Well, number one, we all across the table and many Ghanaians believe that what actually happened revealed a flaw in the recruitment process. And even in the preparation towards the recruitment, it does reveal that nobody is hiding that under the carpet. But the question you ask yourself is, and the restraint I want all of us to exercise is this: look, there is an ongoing investigation into the matters. Look, the findings may bring up things that all of us will not have contemplated. And those are the ones that would inform very rigorous transformation of the processes. And so for me, I would urge that, yes, we are angry, and we ought to be angry because 6 dear lives have been lost. So we ought to be angry. Young people, we ought to be angry and all of that. Families are grieving, we ought to be angry. But again, let's not avoid, I say, but minimize the castigations and ensure that we allow. Otherwise, we might think away or sort of even impede the investigation processes in terms of diluting the minds of persons. These may be professionals anyway, so they will do their job and do it very well. But having said that, look, this is what we need to realize. I completely disagree with the processes that were adopted in the past. And this is the reason. For 2 reasons. Number one, it does not have any level of fairness or justice in it.
Really?
Because you see what happens every year, people have expectations of getting an opportunity to serve their country through the Ghana Armed Forces and in many other places. Now, if you keep a backlog that you had, you basically shut the window to the aspirations of persons who would have been graduating and coming out of school and who would have learned skills and now become qualified and who would have gone through other processes and now become, you've shut down the door to them, the opportunity. So there's a certain problem of fairness with that approach. Now, the other problem that created was this. In many times, we had people in our communities complaining that they woke up one day and then somebody is now in military uniform, or a person vanishes for 2 weeks, he comes back, he's now in military uniform. How that happened, they were never aware. So it fueled a certain narrative about political favoritism, about, politicizing the Ghana Armed Forces, you want a more transparent process.
Well, we've heard MPs openly say in Parliament that they have reserved slots and all.
No, so you see, the point, the fact, no, I cannot confirm that, but this is the thing. Persons in positions of influence, whether we like it or not, particularly MPs, you know that they have a responsibility to their constituents, and their constituents will come to them with all manner of challenges. Look, even me, I'm not an MP. I sit somewhere in a very small office. People still come to me, whether it's to do with recruitment or with any other kind of employment. They come. And when they come, the least you can do is offer them hope. Take their documents and then maybe speak to one or two people that, please, if there's an opportunity, if these persons are qualified and there's an opportunity, please help them. But it doesn't mean that you can do beyond that. So it's legitimate. People will come to you, but you don't tell them, look, I don't control this, but please go away. It's some sort of, it's insensitive to do that. It's insensitive to do that. So, but having said that, look, the thing is this. So that process created its own problems. And if you remember or recall, there was a report that was done by the Ghana Armed Forces, which came out in July 2025. That report indicated that out of about 400 and something trainees, 210 of them were not qualified, which was around 46%. And that, because you see, as you have a backlog, look, some will age out. Some will get involved in maybe certain kinds of, maybe medical conditions will change. Maybe they get involved in some sort of accident. A lot could happen within that period. And then you call them, they get in, because they had already been screened, selected, and felt fit. You call them, they get into the process, and eventually it's realized that they are not. That report came out, and that report showed that 46% of them, and their their recruitment had to be turned. So they had to cancel that. So for me, we don't want problems such as that. I believe that a very transparent process such as the one we have is what we need. However, we need to ensure that that process is very safe. Very, very safe. So there are learnings that we will learn from this incident. But again, it's even for the remarks that's been made, or the indications that have been given by the finance minister, we will now digitalize the entire process. But remember, this recruitment process, not the entirety of that process can be digitized. A certain level of physical contact is required, whether we like it or not. So for me, what can we do at those levels of physical contact to avoid the reoccurrence of incidents such as this? I think that's what should concern us the most.
Very well, Doc.
And eventually, I want to see a situation where people with aspirations of serving this country go through the process without a scratch and get the opportunity to deliver that dedicated service to the people of Ghana.
Very well, thank you. Elvis, can we take what we need as and when we need it? We know that clearly armed forces cannot employ all the numbers that are seeking to go there. So can we do a proper assessment of, if on a yearly basis, or if we're going to do it within a certain period, say 4 years, 5 years? We know that these number of persons are going to go on pension, they are going to go on retirement, so we need this particular number to replace them. Can we do it this instead of opening the floodgates for or everyone to apply, especially coming on the back of what Ibrahim just mentioned, a 10,000 backlog, 10,000 Ghanaians?
Yeah, it's the way we want to use the armed forces. Okay, as a country, see, I believe that if we look at our development priorities, one institution I believe can help solve a lot of our infrastructure development projects, bridges, construction of hospitals, and is the Ghana Armed Forces, the Forces Engineers Regiment. The UN even hires them to other countries to go and build bridges and roads and other things. So for me, if we are recruiting the armed forces and we say that, okay, government had decided that most bridges, that the cost is not above maybe 2 million Ghana cedis. Ghana Armed Forces will take that, will do that work, okay? We are looking at building structures, maybe hospitals, maybe not district hospitals, but maybe cheap zones or something. And you see, we can create a whole job, and then the armed forces becomes the base for delivering those projects. You know, the infectious disease center at Legon was delivered by the Ghana Armed Forces. The project was to be delivered within 6 months. They delivered it within 3 months because of discipline, hard work, expertise. So for me, if we are recruiting the armed forces because young people do not have a job, this boy here because there's no job opportunity in this country. So once there's a little opening, exactly, that is what it is, and we must not accept it. So if we can make use of the armed forces for specific purposes like that, I will be happy. But as we speak, I don't know whether we are just recruiting because some people wear military uniform. Because right now, if you speak to, I've spoken to people in the armed forces, and they tell you that normally we actually send a lot of people to this peacekeeping operation. It's like all over the world, peace has returned now. Lebanon, they are closing down. Almost every place is being closed down now. So even the personnel going on peacekeeping operation is now limited. So the numbers we are actually recruiting, the question is, where are we taking them to? That's no.
That's
what I'm saying. If there are specific purposes, and we think that we have the resources to do it, because see, recruitment also puts pressure on the public purse because they have to be paid salaries at the end of the month. So if we are recruiting and we think that government would have paid private contractors to do maybe 1,000 bridges in this country, maybe feeder roads, government armed forces could do it. In fact, personally, I have said that drip machines that we bought, we should have centralized it under armed forces, and armed forces would deploy their various units in the regions. Armed forces would have plotted with engineers the various roads in various districts and regions where these drip machines can work, schedule and do this road. I believe that they would have done a more fantastic job. The discipline, the time of delivery, they would have done better. So I have my own views and ideas I think we could have used the armed forces for. And if we are going to increase the numbers, because we have done a thorough job and realized that we could use the armed forces to do all this, for which if we have maybe a 50 or 60,000 capacity armed forces, maybe 30 or 35,000 are professionals in masonry, carpentry, maybe tile laying, and all kinds of fields who will be deployed around to do all this job. That's why we recruited them. I wouldn't have a problem. But for now, I don't have any information that the recruitment is based on such processes. And you see, we are recruiting all these people. It means that we need accommodation also for them. The barracks, if you go to barracks, if I go to Burma Camp and I'm like, no, it's a shame that our soldiers are still living in this colonial era structures in Burma Camp. I believe that by now, the buildings in all our military barracks should now be modern buildings, because most of the buildings, if you go to Burma Camp and the rest, were buildings that were put out during the colonial era. And if you go in somebody's room, Nana, it is just the whole space in the room is like that. If you join this table twice, it's somebody's room with kitchen and everything.
They've done partition.
Everything is the whole space like if you add another of this table. And I said, why should we recruit soldiers and cram them into this kind of building? And when they have an engineering department, why is the armed forces now not being using their own engineering department to break down this building, put up story buildings which could even accommodate more personnel? So there's a lot of financial stress when we recruit. The question is, the recruitment, is it purposely targeted at helping government deliver certain projects? I believe that government will be happy when it wakes up and says, 48 engineering regiment doing roads. Now when you go to most rural areas, their feeder roads are in a state that the people are happy about, because then when they say this thing will be done in 2 weeks, maybe by 1 week they are finished. Because of the discipline. Rather than giving it to a private person who is giving you, oh, they have not given me money, I submit myself. I believe that a lot of the work that, especially in rural communities, is one of the best. And I'm saying this because if you look at, I don't know whether you have been there, but I have been there. This economic enclave project started by the previous government to deliver at least 100,000 acres of farms of rice, tomatoes, and the rest. I visited one of the farms, which is just around Ekpung area here, and the actual work of plowing the place and everything was being done with the military. And when they tell you how they do their work, unbelievable. Wow. They went to Oti region to work, and they are even struggling to find a pontoon to ferry their vehicles out. They were able to build one by themselves to ferry their machines to where they are going to work. So you realize that there's some level of efficiency and effectiveness from the Ghana Armed Forces. So if we are going to actually detail them and say, government need to deliver basic infrastructure projects to rural areas. If it's these big buildings, you give it the contractors because they also need to work. But these basic projects in our rural community, from road infrastructure to buildings and other things, you can just empower the armed forces, enlarge the engineers regiment unit with all the professionals needed, and deploy them across all the 16 regions. And each region has a master plan of the length of roads they have to do in a year, the number of schools, hospital, clinics and things they have to build. I believe that our development in terms of infrastructure delivery would be faster, and any government that takes this to help them more. So if we are recruiting for that, I'm happy. But if it is not for that, and we just wear military, sit at the military camp, hoping that we'll be deployed to go and keep peace in maybe in Kunya or Boku or the rest, or go on peacekeeping, then I think that the numbers that we are adding now, considering the fact that information that available to me shows that peacekeeping operations have been scaled down by the UN considerably, because most places now have peace. If we are not careful, we will have a lot of people that will be paying, but in terms of what they will be doing for the state may be limited, not because of their fault, but because the state does not have that plan to use them effectively.
Right. Ibrahim, quick one on the backlog and the fairness of that system, because then others who are eligible within that period of non-recruitment.
In fact, the fairness, I agree with Doc. I think that, see, where you say people have applied, they are qualified, and you keep it for 4 years. I disagree with that process. I think that the person did not get recruitment this year. If the person is within the qualification the next year, let the person apply again. What we need to look at is probably you think that the person has paid 200 or 300. Can you reduce it? Or can you say if you have applied earlier and you didn't get it, you are exempted from paying for your next recruitment? That can be done.
Ibrahim, your take.
My position remains the same. If we want to pander, giving hope is fantastic. I'm all for that, because you have to responsibly give people avenues in which their passion to serve the country can also find fruit. So I don't have a problem in giving hope. It's about the false hope aspect of it. Now, if indeed you have a backlog of 10,000 and you want to make sure that every year allow people the opportunity to actually apply on the basis of a false hope, because you have 60,000 people, 4,000 places. Add the backlog, that's 70,000 qualified people for 4,000 places. You know, what are we doing? Isn't it better to channel that opportunity into other areas? So I disagree with my colleagues who are saying that, no, give everybody the chance. No, it's not about giving everybody the chance. You know what you need. If the Ghana Armed Forces, given what Elvis has just said, this time next year or 2 years from now, given that peace or conflict areas are now diminished, and the Ghana Armed Forces, in recognition of that, says, you know, we don't need 4,000 this year. We only need 2,000 people. Because normally there's around 2,000 of us who are deployed in these centers. Lebanon, Sudan, Cyprus, we mustn't forget that. You know, the Greek-Cyprus conflict is still there, and so we actually deploy people to Cyprus. I'm talking the United Nations. And then you have UNAMIL, which was in Liberia, UNCTAD, and so on. I mean, there are theaters across the world. Given what Elvis has just contributed, these theaters of war or conflict reduce. Ghana now doesn't need to send 2,000 people. So you only need 2,000. Are we still going to recruit or let 100,000 people apply? What kind of... It's time that we politicians are not fake to the people. Say, this is what we have. But now I'm going to channel my energies into this area to give you sound employment. Because we all know that the majority of people have no passion to... The majority have no passion to join the armed forces. They would rather do something else. And how can you tell? when they apply, just look at their qualifications. What did they study? What degrees have they done? What were their electives at SHS? They'll give you an idea of where that person, that Ghanaian student, where his or her passion is, as compared to those who you can see are military.
Yeah.
Given that scenario, Nana, government should not, and I'm using this across administrations, pander to that false hope, charging 200 Ghana cedis, knowing full well that 90% of you will not get the job. Are we coming or going? It takes a bold leader, a courageous leader to say, this is the situation and this is what I'd rather do for you. Let's think innovatively and see how we can channel the energies, the entrepreneurial skills that our young men and women have into other ventures that are both financial fulfilling and self-fulfilling. In South Africa, you have the Military Skills Development System. It's a 2-year voluntary program by which South Africans are then put into the South Africa National Defence Force.
Right.
2 years of training. When you apply, they do psychometric tests. Then they got to look at your qualifications. The body selection and all those aspects are all contained within the initial processes. South Africa have the same thing that we do, oversubscription. 133,000 South Africans applied in one single recruitment cycle. And only 0.2% of them were recruited. So what's happening in Ghana is we're not unique.
Right.
But we have to, as leaders, say, this is a situation. I have 4,000 places. I have 10,000 backlog. And yes, some will not be fit for purpose moving forward. And I'm happy what my brother doctor said, that 46% when they did review. Okay, so let's take that as a black and white data. 46%, say 50%. Out of the 10,000, I don't need the 5,000, the backlog.
So you still have 5,000?
I still have the 5, yeah.
So all you need is 4,000.
So what I'm saying is this, and I'll end in my last 10 seconds here.
Please land.
As leaders, let us see different ways in which we can create opportunities for our young men and women to become the global ambassadors, the strong units of production that we need in Ghana, and not fall back on these public sector recruitment things.
But please hold that thought. Please hold that thought. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, I'll give you the opportunity. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world. Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
One thing I hate in my life is heat, or to sweat whilst I am asleep. That is why I don't joke with my air conditioners. Not just any air conditioner, but Franco air conditioners. It's good for the Ghanaian weather, and they are filled with R410 gas, which is very friendly to human beings, which is not harmful to human health. We have 1.5, 2.0, and 2.5 horsepower. So what are you waiting for? Walk into any Franco branch now and grab for yourself quality, affordable, and energy efficient air conditioner from Franco. Visit www.francotrading.com or call any of the numbers on your screen for enquiries or wholesale. Franco air conditioners, they are reliable, tried, and tested by all Franco, home of quality and affordable air conditioners.
You're not sure what's causing the panic, but if you're
Masquerades are scary, but bills shouldn't scare you. Be one of 10,000 lucky winners when you deposit multiples of 400 Ghana cedis or take a loan in multiples of 4,000 Ghana cedis to win up to 1.5 million Ghana cedis in cash and prizes, 1-year insurance cover, and more. Tap into vibes in the EcoBank 5-Star Enjoyment Promo. Up to 15% discount when you use our cards and digital platforms. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank will never call or text asking you to verify sensitive information like your PIN, Ghana card, or bank card information. Pay better attention to details.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Go be the luckiest, go be from Georgia be luckiest, from not the block she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest, everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your goddamn boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, simple direction. Mr. Good Luck no check me well.
Yeah, man. Easy kwa. Or dial *712#.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompt. Yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like serving.
Dial *712#. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, baby, our family can before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. We're having conversations regarding the military recruitment and that unfortunate stampede. I see a few of you have sent in your messages. Read them and then I go to Doc to wrap up and we can move on. Good morning, Nana. The funny thing about all this recruitment is that those who will go through genuinely will not be more than 100. Why must we pay 220 cedis to buy forms to serve our country? Agama from Teshi sends that one in. Ahmed from Nima says, good morning, Nana. It's a fact that granting recruitment slots to the families of the victims is unconstitutional. This will not bring back the dead. Government must rather adequately compensate the families. Okay. NPP. That's also part of compensation. Yeah. NPP had a backlog of recruitment only advertised within their party circles. How transparent was that recruitment exercise? A qualified recruit may not be qualified in the following year. Even the universities continue to recruit every year. Only NPP can recruit and have backlog for 6 regimes of recruitment and call it transparent. Okay. These are your thoughts. You can also send yours in and let us know what you think about the various issues. Doc, you had a final word on this briefly, and then we can move on.
I just wanted to provide that the 2025 Global Firepower Ranking, which assesses the military strength of various countries, showed that Ghana is at about 110, ranks 110 out of 145 countries. This considers several factors, including the sheer numbers of the military of each of the countries.
Right.
So which clearly shows that there's still a lot more that we have to do. I agree with my colleague when he says that some of the peacemaking jurisdictions are beginning to close down or wind down. And so, but the military still has a lot more to do. Look, territorial integrity, internal security, civil action support in terms of disaster when it is required. All of that are still areas that the military or persons recruited into the military will still have a very significant role to play. Nonetheless, I welcome what he says about expanding the 48th military regiment. But we need to do this very carefully. Very carefully, to the extent that it does not compromise their core mandate, and to the extent that it does not become competition with the private sector in the construction sector.
Very well. All right, let's move on. The presidential jet is back. It has landed safely and has been handed over to the custody of the Ghana Armed Forces. They should, I mean, if you like, reduce expenditure as a result of the president's travels, and then of course avoid some of the situations we saw earlier when the president had to travel and had to transit somewhere and all that. Basically, the president should be safer flying the presidential jets. Quick thoughts. Ibrahim, let me start with you.
I was reading up on this just to reappraise my mind of what's gone on in the past. Acquired in 2010, am I right?
Yeah.
It was President Kufuor who sought the budget for it, but it was under President Mills that it physically landed in Ghana. I'm talking the presidential jet in 2010. And there's been issues regarding its usefulness moving forward, because in terms of it wasn't fit to fly, and then we had incidences, especially from Honorable Kujutola Blackwell, am I right?
Yeah.
In terms of why wasn't President Akufo-Addo using the presidential jet and taking commercial or charter flights? And the reality has borne true that indeed the aircraft was not fit for purpose. I think we heard Honorable Edward Omane Boama of blessed memory mention in July that the assessment was that it was unfit, it was a sick aircraft. We found that the turbofan needed a complete replacement, and I think that was one of the reasons why it delayed in being fully repaired and being returned to the country. What are my thoughts on it? There were calls for a new plane to be budgeted for. And the opposition then at the time said no. It was luxury, it was surplus to requirements. Why should we have that? And I think the security of any head of state, I would want that His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has the highest security available per his travel schedules. Whether he's taking a chartered flight, across the whole array of his travel, because he represents us. And when we start to play politics with it, I'm not saying that we shouldn't interrogate budgetary expenditure. We should all do that. We have to be mindful of the reason and the purpose for that particular expenditure. The presidential jet, as you know, is not just used for the president. It's used by the Chief Justice and other members of the armed forces. It belongs to the Ghana Armed Forces, not the presidency. It's procured by the presidency or the government on behalf of the Ghana Armed Forces. And so when people think that only the president sits in that aircraft, it's not the case. It's used by the Ghana Armed Forces when the president does not need it or does not use it. And I think we have to alert our minds moving forward, because if somebody tells me that, oh, we spent X amount of millions on the refurbishment. Once it's safe and secure, I would support that expenditure. Could we get a better plane? Because the older a vehicle, the more you'll find that today was turbofan. Give it another 6 months, it'll be another thing, and so on and so forth. Sometimes, you know, you save a penny, but you lose a pound. It's like you save a peswe, but you lose a cedi in the whole process. And so we should be mindful of that. You recall that some time back, when President Rawlings first purchased his jet, the one that was leased to Gallon Limited, yes, the Gulfstream. Okay, and that was a private company, offshore, all manner of things that came out of that particular thing. And that created that narrative whereby we would legitimately question such a purchase, because somehow we think that given the levels of poverty in Ghana, that is somehow a luxury. But security of your head of state should not be a luxury. It's a necessity. It's a necessity. And we need to somehow allay or avert our minds to that. So my submission here is fairly nuanced.
Right.
There's not a lot I want to scratch. Maybe other commentary may trigger a different response from me, but it's here. The plane is back. We need to do a cost-value assessment. I'm talking about this administration. If we feel that we can sell it, get good revenue from it, and purchase a better presidential jet moving forward, then I think this administration should be mindful to do so. And it's for the auditors and Ghana Armed Forces and all the other Control and Counter General's Department to look into the usefulness of alerting our minds to that. Any government, any leader, you have to think generational. Think about the legacy you can leave. When President Kufuor ordered this jet, he knew he was going out of office. So it was not for him. It was for the nation, despite the criticism came with it. So what President Mahama needs to do now, it's fit for purpose now, because Dassault have the owners and those who did the maintenance work have cleared it. It's now airworthy. How long is it airworthy? Government should just think about how can we position the next generation, and I'm talking Ghana, because you're serving Ghana, and invest in facilities that will benefit us. If we need to sell it within the next year, because it's an outfit, let's do so, and purchase one that will serve the presidency more better, more value for money moving forward, because technology keeps changing. There'll be different, instruments on these new planes that the Falcon isn't having right now, and the president needs to be accessible to new, technologies in terms of air travel.
Well, Elvis, I mean, clearly there are structural challenges with our maintenance culture, and if we don't deal with it, we'll go back to the same thing, and this conversation about procuring a new jet, buying a new jet, will keep coming and coming. Even the likes of the Air Force One have been in existence for over 20 years. Commercial planes have been flying 15, 20 years. This is just about 10 years. And we keep having the same challenges. So this conversation about procuring new jets.
15 years.
15. This new jet as against our maintenance culture. What you make of this?
It's all because of partisan politicization. That is why a presidential jet will be a topic for discussion. If you take out partisan politicization, a presidential jet should not be a topic of public discussion, because the president of a country is the #1 person. And mind you, a presidential jet does not fly only the president. The presidential jet can even fly the Black Stars if the need arises. The presidential jet can fly all kinds of people. Presidential jet actually flies business delegations. In fact, the reason many countries have big presidential jets is that when the president is traveling, serious countries who understand that diplomacy is linked to economy, their presidents travel with more than half of their delegations to major trips with business people to go and seek opportunities in the countries where they are going. But because ours is more of politics rather than serious issues, we just make it politics. And because of partisan politics, somebody who oppose the purchase of presidential jet comes to offer and realize that it is important. And it is back and forth, and that is why we are here. Presidential jet was a political issue in the last elections. Oh, no, this, that. In the budget, it's there. We want to buy a new presidential jet in the budget. I support it because I have always said the security of the president of Ghana is paramount. And I support that we should buy bigger plane, that when the president is traveling, it's not only the politicians, but I'll have business people on the delegation who go out there to look for opportunities that probably they can export to those countries, can actually strike deals. This presidential jet, I'm not going to say anything negative, but I think that the earlier we get rid of it, the better. Yes, because the presidential jet returned to Ghana in March 2023. It spent 6 months in France. That was where Black was making all the partisan politics about it. 6 months in France. They say it has been well refurbished and it's now in pristine condition. That's why Black was pristine condition. There's no problem with it. But 6 months in France, it came to Ghana 2023 March. Spent after 6 months, 2023 March. How long did it take for it to go back to another repairs? 2 years. 2 years. Do you understand it? So it means that if you are looking at even the frequency of repairs, you should be clear in your mind that this thing, we should not entertain it to be flying our president anymore. Because if indeed it went to manufacturers properly refurbished and returned to Ghana in 2023 March, I expect it to work longer than this before it goes for another major maintenance. There may be few things that will be done, but for another major maintenance like this particular one, I didn't expect that to happen in just another 2 months. So how long will you fly? The thing will go for 6 months. We fly it like 15 or 18 months, and it goes for another 6 months for repairs. How can you tell me that such a machine is in good shape? So for me, it's better we take away all this nonsense partisanship. Let's buy a good and proper plane for our presidency. And as I said, it's for Ghana. It's for Ghana. As clearly said, this thing, when President Kufuor ordered it, it was a whole brouhaha. He didn't sit in it. He left office before he came to power. Today that the Mahama government wants to buy a new one, they will be here. Mahama will be out of office before the place will arrive.
For 3 years.
He will not be available when the one we are offering that will arrive. So we should take the partisanship politics out of it. And understand that we are buying something for the nation, that we are buying something that everybody will make good use of. And it is for our pride and purpose. We are a country that doesn't have an airline anymore. So the only aircraft that will be carrying our flag somewhere is our presidential jet. So if we buy a good presidential jet, big, and can fly a lot of people to various places, including private business people, to go out there and look for opportunities and come and produce here and send out there so that they can expand and employ more people, it's what we need as a country. So for me, let's cease politicization of presidential jet from now. Let's understand that it's a priority of priorities for a country that is serious. And let's all support the purchase and make good use of our country.
Very well. Look, I agree with Elvis. I don't know if you do same.
No, very well. I think I agree. This is a national asset. This is an asset not to be turned into political football. So I completely agree with my colleagues that, look, the safety of all persons flying the aircraft, the national aircraft, which we refer to as presidential jet, but obviously it's not a presidential jet because it's not only the president that flies that,
purposes.
You know, should be of paramount importance to all of us, especially when you have your president in there, but even the other crew members, the safety of them is of utmost importance. And so, yes, but you see, if you come, any responsible government, when you come in, you want to assess the through state of the facilities that you have inherited, including the national asset, such as the the presidential jet. In order that when you take decisions, those decisions are prudent decisions, those decisions, there is value for money inherent in them, and those decisions have a justification for which. And so you carry the public along. And my colleague Ibrahim mentioned that when the initial assessments were done, Dr. Omane Boamah of blessed memory clearly brought the public along at the in Parliament. Plenary. He briefed at the parliamentary plenary. He briefed members of Parliament on the state, but he also had some very worrying comments to make about neglect, consistent neglect of maintenance to the national aircraft. And so for me, what government needed to do at this point was for government to get, and government, we don't have the capacity, except the manufacturers of the facility. You don't have the capacity to even understand the full extent of the damage done to the aircraft. So it was only, appropriate that this was taken to France, to the manufacturers Dassault. Dassault did a very comprehensive, assessment of the national, of the aircraft. Quite clearly, the aircraft has been, attended to in terms of the challenges that it has. It has come back into the country. That, if you ask me, should be good news for all of us. That the national aircraft or the presidential jet is back, and the presidential jet is now being certified by the manufacturers to be in very good condition and to be able to carry out the purposes for which it was procured. Look, 15 years may be a long time, but with very good maintenance culture, we could have that in fully functional state. Okay, and for me, it's not just about this, it's about almost everything that we do as a people in this country. Our maintenance culture leaves much to be desired, which is something we need to all work on. And so for me, the aircraft is back. I mean, if we have extended, and that's what essentially this has done, extended the life of the aircraft, we are going to save millions and millions of dollars to be able to use it maybe for another year or 2 or 3. I mean, you can imagine if we are going to have to rent, a private aircraft for persons designated to be flying in those, to now have that, carry them around. You can imagine the sums of money. And in the past, there were findings about spending between 14,000 and 18,000 an hour, and then the public outcry that generated, quite clearly, we need the president to fly safe. We need our aircraft to be in compliance with safety, whatever. But if you are spending so much money, the public will definitely raise an eyebrow. Definitely. And let me tell you, if we were to buy outrightly an aircraft today, maybe the cost would have been maybe 10 times more, 20 times more. Nobody knows. So for me, any opportunity to save something for the public purse, demonstrate to the public that you are not in a spending spree. You are not a profligate government. You just want to do what you can do under the circumstances to keep the public purse in a very responsible manner. That's what this has basically demonstrated. And over time, I believe that this aircraft will be put to good use again. We will ensure, government will ensure that, state-of-the-art aircraft are purchased over the course of time. And it's not just government who is calling for the purchase of aircraft at this moment. Long before now, at Parliament House, I heard both across the aisle, minority, majority, everybody calling for a replacement of the aircraft. But if this has been certified, and that's what it is, has been certified to be of pristine condition at this point, I mean, it's only fair that government uses it over the course of time. Well, in any case, you cannot decide that you are replacing an aircraft and replace it today. It takes, a number of years for that replacement to materialize. And so for me, the best thing to do, particularly if you are concerned with saving the public purse, was to get this back on its feet in very pristine condition so that it can be used for those purposes until such time that we are able to replace it. So I guess the views are, very essential if you ask me.
But is it not confusing for the late Omadibo meant to say that the aircraft had not been repaired properly. Because the same manufacturer that did this work, the same one that did it in 2013 that they returned to Ghana. You don't send the plane to another manufacturer.
No,
so if in 2013 the plane had returned 6 months of maintenance, and just 2 years we have been told that the aircraft 2023, and just 2 years we have been told that somebody didn't do proper maintenance, that's why all these are corroded. I don't believe it. I believe that the aircraft is old. So within a short time, things just corrode. So the change is not because that, because the records are there that the plane spent 6 months
Thank you,
and got to Ghana in 2023 March.
Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you, Dr. Bukai. We'll have to leave it here. We'll have to leave it here. Our time is fast spent. We'll have to leave it here, but we'll find time to continue the conversations. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let me say good morning to Abdul Ganiyu Mankarigu from the Savannah region. Always watching us. Always watching us. This has been the news review segment. Stay with us. The show continues after this.
Could get you there in real life, Charlie. Stay connected for your chance to watch the Premier League live. Man U versus Man City at Old Trafford, or Arsenal versus Man U in London. Stay connected to score with DSTV Premium. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply.
Christmas, my favorite time of the year.
This festive season, Volta Serene Hotel invites you to experience the magic of Christmas and New Year like never before. From 20th of December to the 1st of January, step into a world of joy, music, laughter, and celebration. We begin on the 20th with a soulful carols night, filling the air with warmth and melody. Then, on 23rd and 24th of December, arrive in style as we welcome you with fresh coconut and local treats. Christmas Day brings pure delight, exciting moments for kids, relaxing escape for adults, and an elegant all-white dinner under the stars, crowned with a spectacular fireworks display. On Boxing Day, embrace culture and rhythm, from picnics and traditional dance to an unforgettable high life and old school night. As the week unfolds, enjoy movie night, live music, karaoke, and endless fun, until we welcome 2026 with a breathtaking fireworks show on New Year's Eve. Special Christmas packages starting from 4,050 for individuals, 5,250 for couples, and 8,900 Ghana cedis for a family of 4 for 2 nights. Call or WhatsApp 0541 539 867 or 0362 025 243 to book your experience today. Volta Serene Hotel. Feel the serene touch.
When you buy, you build. Your purchase becomes progress. Each choice writes a better story for someone else.
Afro-quality. Buy African, build Africa.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go give me the luckiest. Coffee from Georgia be luckiest. From that the Pure she be luckiest. Me and you go be lucky, luckiest. No better why that luckiest. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Senya God the apple boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, simple direction. Mr. Good Luck no check me way.
Yeah,
man.
Easy car. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompts. Yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like serving.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, baby, our family pay my before December, may release a motivation album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
This November, something amazing is coming to Accra. Are you a farmer with fresh produce? Are you into fish farming, poultry or livestock? Then get ready for the November edition of the AgriFair 2025. Yes, AgriFair 2025. It's happening on Friday the 28th to Sunday the 30th of November. It's happening at the A4 Southern Children's Park and it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. It's the ultimate weekend marketplace. From fruits and vegetables to poultry, livestock and fish to agri-inputs and processing machinery. All at unbeatable farm gate prices. Whether you're selling or buying, this is your chance to connect, trade and grow. Enjoy the freshest farm produce, sizzling kebabs, and a vibrant marketplace atmosphere all in one space. Register now and secure your spot. Call 0558-973-973 for more information. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by Horticulture Business Platform, Development Bank Ghana, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, Gressol, and the Ghana Exim Bank. In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensah.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensah.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
It's Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV, and if you started with us, you will know that this show started at 7 a.m. with Nana Tufo Boateng, and from now till 11 a.m. we're going to be taking on a jolly good ride of entertainment, information, interviews, and even getting into our communities and everything that makes up an exciting morning show. So you will definitely want to stay with us from now till 11. My name is Chris Carter.
Absolutely. My name is Jude Duncan. Again, you're welcome to your favorite, weekday show, morning TV show. We call this Breakfast Daily. Chris, hope you're well.
I'm good.
Yeah, I can tell, like, in your bright and yellow.
I'm good. I'm good.
It was a great weekend.
It was a great weekend. Even though Nigeria lost, I'm good.
Oh, you didn't have to mention that,
Because we will still mention it. I have to, this is a very Nigerian attitude in the sense that
you threw out.
You cannot insult me when I've already insulted myself.
Yeah, like, who is down fears no fault?
I don't understand. I'm good. But anyway, before we get into that, we would like to remind you that the Channel One News app is live and you definitely want to download it.
Absolutely.
So head to Google Play Store if you're an Android user and then download the Channel One News app. And this is the app that gets you all the information that you need, makes you stay updated with everything happening in Ghana and beyond. So if you love us and you love watching us, but you are a busy person, you are a busy bee, you are a traveler, you don't stay in one place, but you still want to have access with all the news and information that we put out there, this is the best for you to do. Go out there on Google Play Store and then download the Channel One News app either on your phone or on your tablet.
Interesting. Of course, the Agri Fair is also happening, and the Agri Fair is the country's biggest food fair. Of course, the first phase of it was held earlier this year, and we are bringing it to you again because if it's good, you do it again, right? So it's happening this November. 3-day event scheduled to take place from the 28th to the 30th of November at the Efwa Sutherland Children's Park here in Accra. Of course, the entry is free. So farm produce, everything, livestock, animal feed, all of it and more will be live at the Agri Fair. So you can come for yourself and see all of the amazing products on display. Of course, shout outs to our sponsors, right? Shout out to our sponsors. They've been amazing for us.
Right. So a big thank you to all the sponsors. We have the Horticulture Business Platform, the Development Bank, and also we have the Legacy Crop Improvement Center, GESEL, Ghana Exim Bank, and Agri Impact. This is one of the events that you definitely do not want to miss, especially if you're into fresh produce, fish farming, poultry, livestock, and agri-tech. The agri-tech is one of the exciting part for me because you get to see a lot of innovations that can help you in your agri-business. And obviously, if you come, this will actually be a moment for you to shine, to show Ghana and the world what you actually have to offer. And to those that are thinking of shopping for Christmas and keeping stock of everything that they have till Christmas Day, this is the best time for you. Of course, we don't know what will happen during December. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of price spiking and all that, so this is the best place for you to do all that shopping. You're going to need everything. You're going to get everything that you will need to prepare that delicious meal on Christmas. And also, if you are also getting into, say, some backyard gardening, this is the place for you to actually start that, because there are seedlings, there are seeds, and there are people that can actually help you on how to go about it. 2026 is in the corner, and of course we want to actually eat what we produce, especially with so many things that are happening with our environment right now. It will be nice to plant some of the things that you put into your mouth. So Friday the 28th of the 28th to the 30th of November, so it's going to be starting Friday, then there will be one on Saturday, and it will end on Sunday at the Efwa Sutherland Children's Park, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day.
Chris, it's always important to acknowledge people who've held you down. For an important event like this, of course, we have the Exim Bank, the Agri Impact Limited, the Development Bank Ghana, there's the Horticulture Business Platform. I think there's also Legacy Crop, right? They've been amazing. GESEL has also been on board, and of course IDH. So shout outs to the sponsors for coming on board such a very important initiative aimed at, maximizing our food security and of course giving you cheaper options, right, as we head into the festive season. Yeah.
All right, so that's it for the reminders. I hope to see you all there, because it's no more that it's going to be happening next month, so it's actually next week.
I know, I feel you.
It's next week. So that's Susu that you've been Just keep it. Don't touch it.
Bring the money.
Bring the money.
Yeah.
Come and do your shopping. Anyway, let's get straight into what's trending. What is everybody talking about on social media? What's got people buzzing?
And
I know Jude can't wait. Okay, but let's get into it.
There's so much I want to talk about. You know, like, I feel like the time will not even be enough for all the 3 conversations we have, right?
And wait, guys, Jude is back.
Come on. Don't do this.
All right, so let's get into it. Which one are we starting with?
We'll start off with the Tidal Rave event, because that happened right here under our noses at the Labadi Beach Hotel. You know, I used to say Tidal Wave. Then somebody told me that my age was showing, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, I went back to the correct name, which is like Tidal Rave. So apparently it's a party where young people, actually and old people too,
everybody that likes excitement and fun and music.
Come around. I love the stage though.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. And, you know, people had a time of their lives. You know, there was a wild card performance. And everybody was wondering was it going to be Burna Boy, was it going to be Davido? Then eventually Shatta Wale, you know, came on stage and it was just wild.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great one, and these are some of the images that we see there. There were so many images that came on social media, and also we had Ira Star that actually came all the way from Nigeria. I think she was headlining. She, Black Sherif, and some other people. But it was a beautiful night. The Tidal Rave 2025. People had fun, and clearly, as you can see, I'm sure you wish you were there. I wish I was there. Anyway, when we look at this, we're going to check out some of the comments that we have when it comes to the Tidal Rave. If we have the comments, let them up.
Lord, I'm amazed, I don't know if you describe my feelings. Give me all the love when I need it. Oh, your name is one more, could I ask for? That's the way that you make me feel. I'll be lying if I say I'm not patient enough. Tell me one more, could I ask for? Blessings flow like a river, freezing cold in Medina. Neverland Peter, for me saying cool na majija. Took some potion dinner, I'm a my sister. Might be hosting a dinner. Seafood a granted your love and dessert. Vegetarian sebe ya stir fry. Veggies of course no calamari. I'm full of love, can see on your telly. Son of the sun, I'm never unlucky. It's written and bound to happiness, say. So much Ricoco, why worry? Keep going, mentally jack. I say some, here's for you. Pick yourself off the floor. You design, God ensures. Keep going, mentally jack. I say some, here's for you. Pick yourself off the floor. You design, God ensures. Lord, I'm amazed, I don't know if you describe my feelings. Give me all the love when I need it. Oh, your name is one more, could I ask for? That's the way that you make me feel. I'll be lying if I say.
All right, so the what you actually saw there was some excerpts and some aerial view of how it looked like on Saturday, and the event was a success with, you know, Black Sherif opening up the event, and we had people like Ira Star, Jackie, and Shatta Wale that gave
Daco vibes
too. That
quite a number of artists passed through really
performance and. I think it was a beautiful one, and I think this is ushering us into what we're going to be seeing in December.
Absolutely, and already it started. You know, when I saw this, I'm like, oh guys, it's already December, and I passed through like a retail shop, and I'm seeing all of these Christmas trees, and I'm like, guys, you know, like let November be like breathe small, you know, like what's happening?
Especially some of these big supermarkets, as you enter, you just say, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Like,
I'm like, oh my
in
God.
November, Charlie, we are looking for money. Like, we are hot. You don't want to do this. You know?
Right.
Anyway, so this was really amazing. Between Ira Star and Shatta Wale, who do you feel like it's the bigger artist now in terms of, like, you know, in football, you have something we say form and class, right? So class is like all that you've done or you are capable of doing. Form is like in the very present moment, right? Or within a period. So who will you say based on form is the hottest artist right now?
In Ghana, Shatta Wale.
I mean, globally, beyond borders, Ira is bigger than Shatta Wale.
Come on.
Really?
She's signed to Rock Nation right now. And that gives her even higher leverage.
Wow. But in Ghana, it's Shatta Wale.
Shatta Wale.
Wow. Because they promised Shatta Wale as a wild card. And people are feeling like, I've seen some comments that suggested that Ira Star could have been like the wild card.
The wild card. No, but it couldn't have been Ira Star because they already announced that she was headlining.
Yeah.
You understand? So if they didn't announce, it could have been a good one.
Between Ira Star and Shatta Wale, who would have sold more tickets in Ghana?
In Ghana, tickets, not free.
Yeah. I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, my question still stands, right? So who would have sold more tickets?
I don't know, you tell me.
I think Shatta Wale still.
Yeah. Because it's Ghana.
Because it's Ghana.
Yeah.
It's interesting. See, I think it was amazing. Of course, the concept was to have people, get fun moments. I think the major problem beyond this is the timing again. Every time we see this, right? So concerts starting on very late, major artists performing like 15 minutes and doing like ad-libs on music playing behind.
I think
the lack of creativity in live performances.
I think this doesn't have to do with the people coming to the concert. It has to do with the organizers.
Yeah.
The organizers need to be on their
A
game because I remember there was one time Nigeria had that issue of timing until it was Dari Alade, like one of the good R&B singers in the country. Then he actually did a concert. It was going to start at 7 o'clock. It started exactly at 7 o'clock, and he was supposed to end at a certain time, and he ended at a certain time. So some people were already on the way when the concert had already started. Do you understand? And that actually made them sit up. I think that action made people sit up when it comes to going to concerts at the right time. So I think it's about the organizers just
doing their job. Because I felt like they did a lineup of what time the artists were going to come on stage, and I thought that was quite innovative, right? But I later go back on social media and see so many people complaining. So Ira Star was given like an hour, then she had like 30 minutes of stage setup, and she performed for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and people are like, what's happening? Anyway, guys.
Anyway, we have comments on this, and let's check them out. The Lightbringer Kiko, absolute madness on the stage. Shatta Wale really showed why he's African dancehall's king. Energy unmatched, crowd fully lit.
Did you see that thing where the hype man, right? Or the hype man, everybody knows Kojo Manuel. If you know the vibe, you know the inside. You know the vibe. Charlie, he went on stage and Shatta Wale. People say, no, stand aside. Did you see that video?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
Kojo Manuel is my guy. Don't do that.
Oh, I'm serious. In fact, Shatta Wale has posted a long
rant.
No. Apology of a sort. I think I should probably just pull it out. So.
All right. So why you're pulling that out? Let's just continue.
See,
okay.
So the thing is that he was trying to like hype
as usual.
And Shatta Wale's assistant or road manager or one of the guys around was like, you don't do that here, Charlie, young man. Beshi, he sits somewhere. Oh, the video is all over the place. See, so this is Shatta Wale's post 7 hours ago. It says, Kojo Manuel, so sorry, I plenty why and the
beg, I beg.
But he says, but hey, Abonko, I believe is the guy who, says is the most nicest person ever. But when it comes to my work, all my team members bow because he is second in command and none of my team come close. Sorry, he pushed you. Charlie just say piano. Keda. Sorry, he pushed you, but next time, just know it. When the artist and team step on stage, I beg you. Says, okay, I just know it. When the artist and team steps on stage, I beg you, okay. DJ Varowski, my boss, told me the plan about the entry, and I just want to thank you for that. But please, next, when we have another opportunity, let's do things when I come on stage. Everything is timing and discipline. All love, bro. This is how we all learn and not fight ourselves to show the world. I don't support what he did, neither you. But let's learn from this peaceful letter I've written to you to just say a big sorry to you and the team. So in one breath, Shatta Wale is telling Kojo Manuel.
In one breath he's saying sorry, and in another breath he's saying, well, I don't blame my guys.
But I feel like Kojo Manuel is one of the finest in the industry, right?
Yes, he's one of the finest in the industry when it comes to, hyping and, setting the stage on fire before the main person comes and perform. But then again, I think this wouldn't have happened if they had like proper rehearsals. If you had rehearsals, you would know that. I mean, every artist, like even Beyonce has rehearsals and everything when it comes to every concert or or performance that she has to do. So if there was a rehearsal, you know that, okay, I'm going to come here at this time. You don't just do things like
anyhow.
the French to say par hasard, like you just anyhow.
Laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. Laissez-faire.
Anyway, so our next story, Jude.
Of course, don't do this. I'm actually not happy Nigeria is not going to the World Cup.
Why? You're the only Ghanaian that I see that's not happy.
I feel like Nigerians, wherever they are, add color to events, right? Their culture is lively. The people are exciting and very fun to be with. They know how to bring a place lit. So if Nigerians are at a place, it's always fun. And take it from me as someone who like went to school and had Nigerians on my floor in Legon, J. Nelson. They were the fun guys to be with all the time. You know, you go for Pan-Africa debate competitions. When the Nigerians come, you can just tell that like there's a presence, right? So they're always fun to be with. And they're so funny. Like they are very, very funny people. Yeah. So Nigeria not being at the World Cup, I think it takes a little bit away from it. So I'm kind of sad. I don't even lie.
Yeah, I guess we all just have to buy the Ghanaian jersey and then join the Ghanaian support.
I mean, we are one big family, you know.
And then support Ghana as Ghana supports Nigeria in the AFCON. So 1-1. Nobody knows, right?
Yeah, but I'd rather be at the World Cup than the AFCON.
But anyway, want to say a very big congratulations to DRC, the Republic, the Democratic Republic of Congo. They have done well, and we hope them, we wish them luck as they move to the next round. That's playing with the South Americans.
So they play, it's an interconfederation competition now. So I think they can either meet Bolivia, they can either meet Iraq, they can either meet United Arab Emirates. You know, so it's far from over.
Right.
It's far from over. But I think
but that means anyone that means anyone that wins is a person that is moving forward.
Yes.
They need only one person.
Yeah, I think now they need one more team and that's it.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, but it's
But I really wish DRC wins then, because then we'll need one more African.
Yeah.
Unless that means we don't have much Africans.
Quite a number of slots, yeah, but of course not as much as the Europeans.
Yeah, so I hope DRC wins, so we have at least one more African joining the squad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have comments on that. Let's check out some of the comments.
All right, first two tweets and said that Super Eagles still managed to exit twice, once in the groups and one again in the playoffs. Come on, guys, don't be mean. Don't be mean. Zayn also tweets and says that Africa's qualifiers just turned into a thriller series.
Well, yeah, it felt like a thriller series.
Yeah, because all the points in beating Gabon 4.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Victor Osimhen let down by his teammates today with a heartbroken.
To be fair, he had a monster performance against Gabon, right? And he did very well. In fact, in the very last group game, he scored like a hat-trick. You know, then he went into the first phase of the qualifiers against Gabon. He showed that he carried the team. But of course, it didn't work out against DRC Congo. Attorney General of Kaba, with the handle at Dotun88, says they need to dissolve the team. This team is an embarrassment. Not quite. You know, if they had qualified, it would have probably been a different conversation altogether.
This is not a surprise. When the institution is bad, every other aspect will told the same way. The National Sports Commission should just disband this current NFF leadership and start afresh.
You know what's true about this tweet? You can change it to everything Nigeria in that tweet to Ghana and it will still hold.
So it's true.
Yeah, our leadership is bad. You know, we've used the World Cup to cover.
Saying it with your chest.
Of course, we've used the World Cup to cover a lot of serious problems with our football in our World Cup qualification. But hey,
so would you say it's an African thing?
I wouldn't say same, because the North Africans are doing things differently.
Yeah, the North Africans are doing well.
You know, so it can't be an African thing. It's more like a mindset, and it's unfortunate that it's almost predominant or very profound, especially in West and
Africa.
Central. You know, it's like we the area some way. You know, like.
Rebels.
But we've had leadership in the past that have done things differently, right? So I don't want to say it's an
African thing.
It's an African thing.
Right.
Because there are excellent Africans out there.
Anyway, still in Nigeria, another one that is trending, and this actually didn't just shake the Nigerian fintech world. This actually shake every fintech world out there, especially in Africa. And it's because the co-founder of Paystack some of his old tweets resurfaced, and they are actually very, very, very disturbing. So Nigerian tech company Paystack co-founder Ezra Olubi old tweets has resurfaced, revealing a disturbing number of tales from the co-founder. And the tweets, some of the tweets actually gives off some, you know, connotations of pedophilia. We don't want to put them on the screen. Pedophilia, bestiality, and so on. I mean, we've seen stuff, but bestiality in Africans or pedophilia in a young person like that, and someone that is very progressive, that is actually very scary. And how did this come up? Obviously, one of his old lovers, people are calling her scorned, but I don't know if she's scorned. You know,
she was asked to pay back $55,000.
$55,000,
and since then, everything has just gone haywire.
Yeah.
But of course, it doesn't also negate the very important accusations, right? You know, if they are proven to be true, then I think there's a big problem.
Because he has since deleted his Twitter account and has gone silent on all social media platforms. And some of his social media platforms like Instagram still have some pictures and captions that can actually make you think, what is going wrong with this person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it still actively involved in Paystack?
No. So Paystack has also come out to say that he is suspended.
But how can you suspend a co-founder?
You know, because Stripe actually bought Paystack at some point. So I think they're working together with Stripe.
Okay.
So yes, there are people there are people in the company that also make, you know, high-level decisions.
Okay.
Yeah, high-level decisions. So yes, founders can actually be suspended if they have other people on board that support that you can be suspended or even moved.
For our viewers who don't know what this is really about, I think we should just explain what Paystack does, right?
Yeah.
So Paystack is like a fintech platform which helps like with payments across borders, right?
Yeah.
So you can be in Nigeria, in Ghana, anywhere. Does it work in Ghana?
Yeah, I actually use Paystack for my business. A lot of people use Paystack for their
So
business here.
it's together with like FlatTab, you know, they were like the biggest fintech platforms in Africa, you know, and they had so much acclaim because of like, and they were the face of the next generation of like coders and engineers in that space, and they were young.
Yeah.
So the more like the Mark Zuckerbergs, even though not on that scale or on that level. But these are very brainy guys, very intelligent guys, right? Very sharp guys.
Yeah. So they actually sold Paystack for $200 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of
so
money.
It means that this Ezra guy, who is the co-founder and the center of everything, is a very wealthy guy.
Oh, he's a very wealthy guy. And one thing that you cannot take away from him is that he is a very good engineer.
And you get a sense that a lot of people had like so much acclaim. Because I see like, I go on social media, I see a lot of tweets around people trying to show like influence peddling, right? They want to show that they are close to him.
Yes. So
and these are like a lot of feminists who were supposed to be like the ones
that speak against
speaking out, were the ones rather sort of acclaiming him and influence peddling.
So basically, what happened is that yes, he had influence, but nobody knew these things. Do you understand? Nobody knew about these tweets. Then, do you understand? Because he wasn't famous then.
Yeah.
So obviously, when the fame came, nobody's thinking about what he.
But
used
his
to
tweets have
then.
been there since 2011.
That's the truth. But you don't know what. I mean, nobody was looking at you that time. You are nobody.
Yeah, but my point is that you can't be as close to him as certain people who are also part of this way and not know about this kind of past.
You can actually.
Really?
You can. You can be close to people and you don't know their past. You can be close to people and you don't know their dirty laundry. You can know surface level of who they are because he's a queer person. You can know surface level, everybody knows he's queer, and a lot of queer people are always with women.
Who is his main accuser in all of this?
You want me to get into that story?
No, I feel like our viewers need to understand what we are talking about.
The viewers need to understand, but you need to be ready. Okay, so let's get straight into this. So they actually in a polycule. A polycule is 3 people in a relationship together. We love each other. Equally.
So Ezra was
Ezra and 2 women.
In a polycule.
Yes. So one of the people from the polycule had issues with him, and they broke up. So because the 2 girls were already.
So 3 people in a relationship.
So 3 people in a relationship.
One man and 2 women.
And 2 women.
So it's fair to say
it's not polygamy. Let's get that straight. It's not polygamy. It's not polyandry, it's a polycle because they all love each other. Polygamy is the man and he has 2 women.
Yeah.
But this one is 3 of us together in love.
So clearly this is a part of the LGBT community because
It's a queer community.
it's a queer community.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
go on.
that's why this story is such a big deal. Everybody's wondering.
And one of the 2 women had a problem with him
Yeah.
because of his past.
Yeah.
But where does the $55,000 come in this?
Because he had given her $55,000, and when they broke up, he wants his money back.
To fund, I understand it was to fund the brothers' fees, right?
I don't even know what it was to fund.
Because I read it like that on
Yeah.
social media somewhere. Wow. So, will you say they are degenerates?
Wow, degenerate would be too harsh. I wouldn't call it degenerate, but I would say, I mean, from
Because I've
his
seen,
tweets,
and those are not my words. I've seen people use that to describe them on social media.
Exactly. People will have different descriptions for them, but what I see here, not for them, not for the political thing, but for him, this is somebody that has serious issues when he was young.
So he needs therapy.
He needs serious therapy, honestly. Serious therapy, because you cannot be at that age and talking about bestiality. Bestiality is sleeping with animals. And to be specific, his cat. He kept talking about his cat.
But maybe he was talking about it but wasn't engaged in it.
But for you to have that kind of mind, that's scary.
That's even a problem, right?
Anyway, let's get into some of the comments that, people have out there. Guess you can't outrun your past. And this is true. This is what we're talking about. Everything you put on social media will come back to haunt you someday. Omar, this is wild. Very wild. That's why Jude is confused. Even the cat. Even the cat looks scared. Yeah. So you got some things where you could just read. Evil spirit could enter you. God, I beg, forgive me for the few my eyes have just...
Charlie. I trust Nigerians to bring like the humor and the dark comedy side of all of this. Anyway, West Boy NJG says some people will say it's cruise. How do you comfortably tweet something like this dirty and immoral? Chris, I have just a quick question for you. Do you feel like all of this would have come out if he didn't ask for his money back?
No.
Do you feel like the money is a trigger?
The money is a trigger, and maybe it will have come out one day. That's what time does. Time always comes back to haunt us, whether we like it. Anything you do will come back to you one day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, and on that note, guys, not a very pleasant way to end the trending segment of the show, but all the same, we have to still inform you. But it's time for something that will lighten your mood, much better than our previous discussion. And we have our video of the day. Take a watch.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, next one.
So this boy cannot give. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, next one.
So this boy cannot give.
But it's true.
Yeah, kind of relatable.
Yeah, you kind of greet people every time, and they're just looking at you like...
No, the system is hot too. Like, I feel like the average Ghanaian now is like, where the mind is now, you've strategized, like planning, plotting. There was a funny video that said, pack, like, Charlie, make it work. So you can't really, sometimes, not like they don't want to respond, though, but where the mind is now.
So let the mind always be there. So the day the person forget, your mind should be there. Don't ask them, why can't you greet?
Right.
Anyway,
right.
That was just to put smiles on your face, but then let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be getting straight into our community.
Love the Premier League? Your DSTV premium subscription could get you there in real life, Charlie. Stay connected for your chance to watch the Premier League live. Man U versus Man City at Old Trafford, or Arsenal versus Man U in London. Stay connected to score with DSTV Premium. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswati. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Coffee from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, a simple delation. Mr. Good Luck no check me way.
Yeah, man. Easy cry. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm a birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompts. Yes. And then boom. Confirmation test.
I'm quick. Pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like service.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, baby, our family payment before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. My name is Jude Duncan. Of course, I'm here with Chris Carter. And what an exciting conversation it's been so far. Of course, we started off with bringing you some of the trends. And of course, it didn't end on quite a note, right? But yeah, we'll move on the show. And it's now time to delve into our communities. Why is this important? It's important because we get to tell your story. And if you follow Channel 1 TV, we are big on telling your story. It's literally our tagline, right? So this time around, we are coming to the Numereso community where there are so many infrastructure challenges ranging from health to roads, to name it. But we are focusing mainly on the health aspects today, right?
Academic activities.
Academic activities in the area.
Yeah.
You know, why is it an issue? Because children don't have enough desks to study.
Yeah.
The classroom environments are poor. Just the general livelihood of everything in that area doesn't seem to function. So take a quick look at this video. We'll be back shortly.
Sustainable Development Goal 4 promotes inclusive and equitable quality education, but Numereso Basic School is struggling to meet this standard. The school remains deprived of essential learning resources, especially in ICT, due to the absence of network connectivity, an issue that hinders students' competitiveness in today's digital age. A visit by Channel 1 News revealed that one of the primary school blocks is in a deplorable state and requires immediate renovation. The weakened structure poses a serious safety risk to pupils who study there. Speaking to Channel 1 News, Headmaster Francis Osei Ado stressed that addressing these challenges would greatly enhance academic performances.
We also plead with the government that most of the infrastructure that are being provided here were provided by the communities. It is the strength and the toil of the communities that highlighted or that brought about this infrastructure. So we are also appealing to the government to also come in our aid to help us so that the infrastructure that will be provided will be a modern one for all of us.
In an interview with City News, the representative of the area's chief, Nana Kofi Jan, Charles Jemfi, also underscored the urgent need for additional teachers and accommodation facilities. He called on the government to complete the ongoing Teachers Bungalow project to support effective teaching and learning.
You see a school, no? Yeah. A teacher for every baby or bobeda. Yeah. The same to a minor far to Yamuso. Yeah. Up a dime, you see a way bosso. Yeah. The Akaria more than Asa. Yeah. The Sarabai. Yeah. Sren Bebri, open and Nimmer Sucrudiano. Yeah. No one more. Yeah. The teacher for one so bar. Yeah. Omonia baby do Mutirato. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Also much lecture for some room. Yeah. The see at schools, no, you could tell Quanabaya or Quaba Haminu. Yeah. A teacher for 9 pay. Yeah. And the could tell me to almost so bread. Yeah. It is Sarabai of a teacher for be Mecaho. Yeah. Na one way, the palm so a befast so you bring your baby a more or Mutirato. Yeah. The mencha de Sidano, ya bosso, yeah. A baby, yeah. The Akadi, ya who are the conform, yes, Sarabai. So, my boy, let me be and my.
Wow. Yeah, you know, it's just unfortunate that in 2025 we still have a lot of this going on, and you know, you think that it's something limited to some communities outside the capital, but sorry to burst the bubble, right? If you go to some schools in Accra, you'll find this level of deterioration in some public schools, and of course, it's brought to the fore for me again issues around government's priority areas, especially in education. So we know that the previous government was big on free SHS, and it was great because we applauded them for it. It increased the enrollment, right? But what the critics said about free SHS was that it also put an undue burden and pressure on other educational modules. So for example, the basic school, the foundation one, like the crèche, the kindergarten, the government ones, you know, so the whole fixation, or in the words of some analysts, over fixation of free SHS and the cost implications involved, burdened other educational, you know, areas, and this is the ripple effect, seeing that communities have leaking roofs, they don't have chairs to sit on, you know, the teachers are not motivated properly. It's a big problem. So we've been joined by a GS director, right, to throw more light on this for us. And we'll try and get him to, you know, analyze the puzzle on whether or not we really need to relook the module for free SHS, and whether or not it's also a significant burden on, you know, the educational budget and making other sectors tight. But good morning, sir, and welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning, sir.
I trust you're doing well.
By the grace of God.
Interesting.
Hope you're also doing well.
I'm amazing. Myself and Chris are doing fantastic. Thank you for your time this morning. We just watched the video from the Numereso school where children are basically struggling to be able to have decent education. They are leaking roofs. The washrooms are in a deplorable state. Nothing seems to be working in the school. Are you minded, as an official, you know, mandated to look at some of these things to work towards addressing this, particularly for these children?
Of course I am. As a matter of fact, if you go to some areas in our district, especially where the video was taken, Numereso, the network system is very poor, the road very poor. We are just fortunate that DMPC built a very nice structure there, but with the lower primary, the classroom is very short, that when the sun is shining and in the afternoon, if the teachers are teaching, the rooms become very hot and not uncomfortable for the teacher alone, but the pupils as well. And as you rightly said, the toilet facility is also in the deplorable stage. And so all these raise concern as far as education is concerned in our locality.
Interesting. Mr. Vincent, right? What are you doing as a director for education in the area, in the assembly, to rectify this? Have you been able to mobilize the community? Have you spoken to, the central government? Is there any plan for them as things stand?
Indeed, I am doing my best. You see, if we want to rely solely on the government, then education in those communities will really suffer. And so I've been doing community engagement where I meet the chiefs, the entire community, PTA, SMC, and then even almost everybody in the community, where I take their concerns, problems facing education in that community. And you realize that some of the things the community themselves can do, but sometimes they don't even realize. And so wherever I go, I listen to their problems, where it could be solved by them. I discuss with them, and then so many places I even raise funds to undertake certain facilities for them. For example, when we went to Numreso, their KG block, even though it's not plastered, so there I was able to raise 20 bags of cement within themselves, and then I ordered the head teachers and the PTA to use to plaster that structure. Then again, from there we came to Nyamebechre number 2, where there is a block there which is clouded with wooden boards, and they want to use blocks to build so that it can be used as teachers' bungalow. And so there also I was able to raise 70 bags of cement from them, and then ask them to use to start that project. So many places that I go, I am able to, most of the times, raise funds so that those structures could be maintained. And then where I realize the strength is above us, I ask them to write letters. So I put covering letter on them and then forward to the district assembly, which we are looking forward to have a fruitful and favorable response from them.
So are you able to, after this, try and mobilize to also fix the washroom for them? Because the state at which we are being told it is in right now is clearly unhygienic. It's not good for their health. It's not good, enough a place, to serve as a restroom. So from all that you've said, working in the past to address this, are you also saying that going forward, you'd go back there to look at the state of the washroom and mobilize community to at least tidy it while a long-term solution is figured out for these pupils?
Sure. It was quite unfortunate that that day when we went, we couldn't get the entire community because of so many activities that was going on there. Those places, Tuesdays, they don't go anywhere. They call it breaking day. Sorry. And so that day, somebody was having wedding, which attracted so many people there. And then also, they have so many groups, and they call it sharing day. And so they had also met, and they were sharing their profits and their monies. And so I was able to meet only a few of them. And so I want to schedule another time where I could get the entire community, and then we see how best we can mobilize funds to, as it were, maintain or start a new project as far as the toilet is concerned. But I've asked the community and the heads to write a letter to the Leaders Assembly through me, so we'll see what the Assembly can also do for them.
Interesting.
Right. So I just want to know, how long has this been going on for?
Hello?
How long has it been going on for?
The toilet.
I mean, like the condition of the school, how long has it been there for?
I came to meet it. I went there in 2024, and so I went to meet it.
Right. And you talked about mobilizing funds with the community themselves. How do they feel about that when you do that with them?
In fact, the way I present the issues to them, they do it with joy. They do it joy. You know, sometimes some of the problems we solve within their reach, but they need somebody to make it known to them. And so when I go and I explain issues to them, I went to a certain place called Fehiakobo, where they said they had no toilet facility. There and then, I decided to raise funds to start a toilet facility. Somebody donated all the roofing sheets, and then we're also able to get 40 bags of cement. Another also donated gravels to start the program. And so, at least, it's yielding the strategy I'm using. And I believe that if I could get time to go to all the communities, at least there could be some improvement. Notwithstanding, we're trying to liaise with the assembly so that they can also assist with materials such as roofing sheets and then cement, so that those who have started some programs can also complete, for the teachers also to be highly motivated.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your time, and we would also implore All right.
All right. It's time for us to now cross over to the KPMG UNDP 2026 Post-Budget Forum that is themed Resetting for Growth, Jobs and Economic Transformation. Let's check it out.
We'd like to start off by welcoming the country manager for KPMG, Mr. Andrew Akoto, to bring some welcome remarks and also put the event in context. Please put your hands together for Mr. Andrew Akoto. Thank you, sir.